Okay, guys.
Hey, yo, Red, you remember the record? No, not the record, though. Damn it! Yo, leave it. Leave that shit in there. Yo, do you remember the show? Do you remember the show?
Man, you got me confused with the record and the show. I don't
Yeah, do you remember the show, though?
Of course I remember that show.
What show? How do you, of course, you remember? What show?
The Jeffersons.
No, I'm not talking about Jefferson. We ain't moving on. Wu-Tang. I'm talking about Wu-Tang, American Saga.
Third season, boys.
Season 3.
Third season.
Yo. Okay, look, let's try to get back up on our feet out here. Wu-Tang, man. It's hip hop, man. What's up, Cornerstoners? My name is Johnny Borbucks, and I'm here with Kalishnikov Red once again, and welcome to our special show edition of Remember the Record, episode 8.3.
Yes, sir.
Back in the day, we were like, we're
finally here.
Yeah,
we're finally here. Man.
We get 25 people. We do the next. We do 50 people. We get the next one. We had to get over 100 people, and we got way more of that going on.
Yep.
Yo, we're giving you the whole shebang. So that's what we're doing right here today. We're talking about that hit drama docuseries Wu-Tang and American Saga Season 3, which was first released on the Hulu platform between February 15th, 2023 through April 5th, 2023. But before we talk about any of that, we need to do a little housekeeping over here and give them even more reasons to keep trying to steal our podcast money and give them a couple of quick shout-outs.
More reasons to hate us.
Yeah, man, really. Man, just shut up and talk about what I came here to listen to. Please follow us at Remember the Record on Instagram. Leave comments there and our other social media pages to have your comments and questions read on future shows. All right, follow Remember the Record podcast on your favorite streaming platform. We need help seeing more followers, comments, ratings, and reviews on those platforms. So please do so if you haven't already and like this content and want to see more of it. All right, follow the Rapper's Corner podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. That's where you get all of our information about our shows. So we're going to dive right into this because we're going to go episode by episode. And the last episode that we did, the last show that we did, that took a hot minute.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Yeah, it was three quick minutes. So here it is, man. We're going to start off with episode 1, I Can't Go to Sleep, which, by the way, did you hear that song recently? Mm-mm. I Can't Go to Sleep. Mm-mm. Yo, that's off of the W. Yo, and it's Ghostface and RZA, and they are like rapping like they are in pain.
They're putting it out there.
Yo, it sounds.
And I'm telling you, anytime, man, that's what makes woo, man. It's relatable.
It's a different type of energy, dog. Like you go back and revisit I Can't Go to Sleep. Like they go in on that one. Following 6 months in the wake of season 2 finale, we find RZA and the Wu-Tang Clan have moved out of Staten Island to a mansion in the woods of New Jersey. All I'm going to say, I'm going to let you take it, was a fantastic opening episode with the success in the tours, man.
Yeah, so in this one, like, we see that Wu made it, right?
Yeah.
RZA ain't happy, though. He's not happy. Mm-hmm. Something's bothering him. And there's this mounting question of ODB. What's happening with ODB? Where's ODB? What's he doing? Who's he with? You know? We see Wu Bear start to become like a real thing. And Ghost and Ray are like bonding like a motherfucker. They like brothers left and right, man. I put like Ray and Ghost chilling, laughed out loud because they were like super close, right? After going into a little recap, knowing how much they hated each other, right? And then Inspector, you know, he's kind of not feeling it because he's like, yo, what about me? What about my album? What about my beats, right? They're always putting him at the very end. Him, Caps, Master, like these heads are like kind of like on the side because I mean you got Meth who just came out, you got Ray and Ghost are working on their thing, so it's like Meth is like the main thing right now, man, the main thing. So you know they're putting more emphasis on Meth. Inspector actually like Jack's mini disc from RZA, which is a big like no, right? Because RZA's like, you can't be in here fucking around my shit.
Yeah, that scene.
So, and Meth is touring. You don't see him. He's doing his thing for his album. So, like, you don't see him as much this episode. He's coming in and out from touring. And then what they want to do is they want to create the biggest contract in hip hop. They're asking for $400,000 or something like that.
Something like that, 4 million or something like that.
4 million, that's what it was. And now it's like You know,
That's for ODB, right?
well, I know. No. I'm skipping ahead. This is actually for the Reunited.
Mm.
Yeah, like that.
Oh, for the double LP. That's right.
Yeah.
That's like down. You like
Yeah.
recapping the whole season.
No,
over
right. But Ray, ODB and Meth at the same time asking for Meth's remix, which we have. He was listening to it when he was coming in. Shorty, your man for you anytime you need me. For real goes me in your world. Believe but the remix.
Yo, the remix, man. That whole episode.
What do you like? Which one do you like?
Oh, that's the one.
I like the original.
The original's fine, but the RZA joint.
I like the.
You're nuts. You think that one's better?
No. Okay, look.
Yo,
look. There's no way.
And the Puffy one, I'm sorry.
There's no way that Diddler does it better than RZA.
Yo, Razor Sharp, dog. That beat goes harder. That's one of my favorite hip hop beats.
Well, it's one of my favorite hip hop love songs.
Yeah, it's definitely like the one song that I did, "Thousand Roses." Like people are always like, "It's a love song. You're rapping so angry." I'm like, dude, I'm not rapping angry because like I'm just rapping like with my heart on my sleeve, right? Like, and that's how Meth did it, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's a love song, but he's like,
he's keep it street.
You keep it real with me, I keep it real with you.
So, and the thing is, it's like I had a girlfriend back in the day, and that was like, she was all like, let's have a song. So it was Selena, I'd be dreaming of you, I think. And then of course that was her choice. My choice was, Method Man.
Yeah, of course.
So I'd be rapping that to her.
I love it.
But yeah, man, no, that song is one of the classic songs in hip hop canon.
So with this first episode, right? There's a couple of notable things. Can I first say that like RZA's looking a lot more like RZA?
Yeah, he's got the
sideburns, and he's wearing all the militant joints. Like
RZA goes through phases.
Yo, for sure, because like when you look at like his
and you see him like the weird like
Grave Diggers,
like,
yeah.
And then the Grave Diggers.
I guess maybe for me, it's like this is when I think of RZA.
The quintessential.
You know what I mean? Like with those.
The thing is with
those
me,
weird chops,
with me, this is like around the same time of like a walks with the awkward slut, a walks with the that tragedy. I think it's around because he had the rings.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he was rocking the rings in this season too. Particularly at the ending, you see him like rocking the rings. Yo, I mean, and I totally janked that when I was in high school. I had all these cheap gold rings, man. I had a whole set of them straight up like copy of RZA. RZA was the god, yo. I like that whole opening where like they got the big house in the pool.
Yeah.
Raekwon cooking on the George Foreman grill.
But RZA's very secluded.
Well, yeah, because he's like he wants to keep doing the studio thing.
But he's also
and they're all celebrating.
And he's all stressing because they got deadlines. You know what I mean? You got signed, you got deadlines. You got to make this album, but you're still working on that album. So he's kind of like a lot, There's a lot of things that are like being planted in that first episode, like when the Divine passes out those Amexes to everybody, except Master Killer. He's like, sorry, man, it's for crew members only. Yeah.
Like he's not woo yet, right? Yeah. Or you see Ghost walking around with like the silk robes with the crystal, and he's like, I'm talking about this new elegance, like. Power trying to get in those high-end stores with the Woo, where he's talking about like adding like drawstrings for the pants and the ankles to hold the pieces. Yeah. Because in this, and then prior to that, you didn't have sweats and stuff like that with the drawstring, and that was like a big thing with the when he was talking about it for the ankles though, and he was like, so you can like touch it. Yeah. Like he was like, we have purpose with it. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, that's nice. It's like a new invention. Yeah, it's so crazy, dog. I love it. When we do see ODB, he's like doing like crazy drugs. Yeah, so he's going a downward spiral. He's like, ow. He's going a downward spiral. This whole electric thing really like it really fucked. Even though he's still around with the Woo and he still like loves RZA and stuff like that, but inside you can tell like it's fucked him up. And he loves RZA, but there's still that little conflict there. You do see the beginning of the downfall, and you see some of the challenges that Divine has to go through on his end of it. Because he's like up in RCA. Yeah. He's the one black dude. Yeah. Besides the janitor. Yeah. And they're all kind of like, oh, you're here for the meeting. Like, there was a lot of that going on. RZA's got that dream where is like he pulls him into that pool with all of his tapes, and he's like reliving that nightmare. And it's like God did it. And the thing also about RZA, RZA's coming more into becoming
the RZA that we know, right? So that's what going back to what John said, alluding back to the chops, and like you also see that RZA is now all of a sudden, and they mention it in the thing. They're like, "Where's RZA? Ah, man, he's out in the mountains with some like seafood guy trying to learn like the new side. Then he's trying to get the new
He's
sound.
trying to get that new sound.
But they allude a lot to the kung fu movies. Like he's up in the mountain within the temple and the Shaolin. And RZA also starts becoming vegan.
We start talking about that.
Yeah, he started the change. The RZA that we know he's becoming that RZA now. So like yeah, it's really interesting that like they're like, man, this motherfucker's vegan, man. He's taking too much time. Like he's got to make the beats, man. All this spiritual shit. But you know,
RZA, and that's gonna allude to other concepts later in the season too.
But that's the thing. It's like RZA's the Abbott, man. He's the fucking.
He's the Abbott.
He's the guy, man. And like, there's so much tension, and because of the time frame, that like time limit or deadlines, and there's so much tension because there's like they said something in I don't remember word for word, but they were like, man, you got to think all these heads are alpha males.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Yeah, and it's like I got to control 9 alpha males who each one thinks.
I think that might be like one of the very last episodes where he's talking to the Rage Against the Machine manager.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't imagine because I only got 4 guys.
Yeah, and so I mean, 9. So that's the truth, and you see that at this first episode. Even though what we're talking about is like later, he says it, but you see it throughout like this season.
Well, particularly in the beginning, because now everyone's getting that taste of fame, or they haven't, and
or they haven't.
You know what I mean? And there's the new elements with like Master Killa and Capadonna's coming back, and like you start seeing all of this sort of internal conflict early. But like okay, so but at the ending of the episode, ODB is like running from the cops. He gets chased by that dog. He jumps out that window.
Then breaks.
Bang.
Yeah.
Right. Ends up in the hospital. And that's how they end up.
Yeah. But like there was Busta. There was.
Did he show up in this episode?
If I remember correctly, I mean I've been reading.
At the party.
Yeah, at the party.
Talking to RZA because like they force RZA. They're like, yo, RZA, get out of your hole.
And he hasn't been blazing either because he's in the spiritual like thing and this vegan thing.
He doesn't drink or smoke.
Yeah, he doesn't. And everybody's like, yo, man, motherfucker, stop blazing. You can't make these new beats. And at this party, at the very end, you see him, and then it starts.
What'd you think of the Busta Rhymes actor?
So, you know, there's a lot of actors in this season, in this series.
In the season too, for sure. Like, there's a lot of cameos.
But you know, in the series in general, you have great actors portraying great people. You have great actors who don't really portray good people. And Busta is like, that actor. I'm sorry, there was no energy.
I didn't get the vibes.
It took me a while to realize that was Busta because of his hair. That's the only thing.
That's the only thing.
He's not tall. He's not strong. He's not crazy. He doesn't have that. You know,
rah the stuff you expect from Busta.
Yeah, it's very like minimal, very like RZA actor. You know what I mean? Like at the minimal, like. Yeah. But again, RZA's actor, I do give him the mental, he's RZA right there, left and right.
I think he's a great actor. I think it was well written. I just don't think he looks or sounds like dude. Man.
No, and
you're right. He captures the persona side of it.
But that's it.
And even like the rapping is not on par with some of the other cats. And he doesn't have that energy.
I would have been interested to see how this actor guy for Busta would have portrayed him rapping.
You know what I'm saying? like he would have done what RZA does.
Exactly.
Like that energy wasn't there. Let's go over to All I Need, which is the second one. As an album deadline nears, RZA must reconcile with his cousin Dirty by any means necessary. Dirty, however, takes refuge at Cherie's apartment. The friendship between Ghostface and Raekwon strengthened. All I say here, dope episode, particularly Ghost and Ray figuring out only built for Cuban link shit.
And like ODB, like I said, he's going through he's spiraling right now. So he even steals Cherie's car, you know, and so it's like, and
he's just like trying everything in his power
And
to
like
avoid seeing RZA.
And yeah, because he escaped the hospital, and when there's a scene in the hospital,
He gets the word that RZA's on his way.
right? And he's a scene where the hospital RZA gets there, and he starts reading like what was wrong with ODB, and it was ODB sure ODB does make him fun. There was cocaine, there was PCP,
Right, he was like
there
lit
yeah,
up.
there was everything in his system. And
Yeah, I forgot about that little chart.
yeah, that doctor's chart.
That's
And
like, what are you fucking doing?
and PCP cocaine and so much more. Who doesn't know what's up with ODB? ODB is a Sherry's. RZA has to make ODB's album, but ODB ain't about it right now. So that's also now it's more of a deadline. Now you got to make ODB's album, but where the fuck is ODB? How come he ain't taking nothing seriously at that point, right? That's making it impossible for RZA to make the album. If they don't make the album, it's a breach of contract. That's about 800,000, if I remember correctly. Fine that they have to.
Yeah.
So
this has to come out, and they're not communicating.
And that is basically more than what we made in total. Like so,
this was an hour and ever, right, and they like tomorrow they need at least 10 songs.
Yeah, 10 songs by the next day, right? And RZA's like, I can't do that. I'm still doing meds. I'm still like working on this. I'm still working on that. And ODB, where the fuck is he, right? So, anyways,
hiding out at Shuri's house.
And then you're right about Ray and Ghost, right? They got their favorite character in this movies that they watch, and it's Noodles. So that goes to later in the album, because in the album there's, I want to say, the skit with Jizza, the one with the U.S. Customs.
Yeah, Killer Hills.
So at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, Noodles and $10,000.
Yeah. So they
have the cash.
So they allude.
What's this, Hell's Angels?
Yeah. So they allude.
Love those skits.
They and it's like my man, what's his name, singing like a bird, like. So
yeah, he's just fucking boy Noodles is up on 26 singing his fucking like bird.
And at the same time, you hear ODB in the background be like, oh,
I love it.
So yeah, then you got this whole thing where like they mention the Noodles. They see a vision of their album Cuban Links. RZA's girl breaks up with him, which is on top of all the stress that he's going through. His girl's like, I gotta go, I'm bouncing, because RZA's not paying enough attention to her either. He's literally sleeping, eating, waking up in the studio. Like that, he doesn't sleep with her. He doesn't.
Wait, you talking about Mecca, right? So like she dumps him on the fucking
whatever
the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
That scene is fucking cold blooded.
And like you feel for RZA.
You feel that drop. He's like, no, I love you though.
Yeah.
And she's like, I love you too. It's not the way they did that was like, woo.
So they got
Mecca did that boy dirty.
They got a new office, and you got B digging it. You got 8 digging his check though.
Yeah.
Rain Ghost decided to do the next album together, Once Upon a Time in America. They mentioned that because and again, this alludes to a Robert De Niro movie. Maybe you guys don't know, but it's a great gangster movie. It's one of his first gangster movies, Once Upon a Time in America. Right? And that's what they're like, oh, we got to make it like Once Upon a Time in America. We got to get the crew involved, all that shit, right? So, Once Upon a Time in America. So then we got
he's like the Tony Montana hip hop and shit. Took the Gambino tapes or whatever and turned them into the Purple tape.
Decided Puff produced All I Need. So they got the remix going on now.
Yeah, because at the beginning, RZA they talking. It was Divine, right?
Yeah, and RZA was like, just let them do it.
They want to sing. They want the single has to be bigger than that. We need a remix on the single. And he's like, I can't, man. Let somebody else do it. We don't know it's gonna be Diddy, you know. But
I always thought it was a good beat.
I like that one
but it's from the Diddler. that's my note for the Diddler, right? So RZA made the beat. ODB is nowhere to be found. Like I'm saying, Ghost and Ray want to leave to record somewhere out.
Yeah, they're talking about like going to Belize. And shit.
Out there and whatever. You see the Diddler. You know, and that.
Yeah, Daddy, he's all like, he daps up RZA. He's like, yo, man, I just bought that building over there.
Yeah, we across the street.
Which is played by, check this out, Christian Combs.
Which is
Puff Daddy's kid, bro.
There you go. So the Diddler has more Diddlers.
Oh, my lands, man. The seeds just being planted all over.
So,
but yeah, no, that's why he looks so much like him. But
because he asked me, he was like, "What do you think of that Puffy's actor?" I was like, "I mean, he's good, but he had the glasses." So,
that's how you could tell.
Yeah.
Like that's the only reason why you could tell. I was like, nah, that and DNA though.
And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Is that the Diddler?"
Yeah, no, man,
And
Christian.
Like, nah, that's
a Christian.
So RZA and Diddler are neighbors now. ODB shows up at the last minute and gets mad when he can't get an advance. ODB, RZA, and GZA hanging like old school. ODB wants some rap comedy in his album. So
starts like planting the seeds for what it's gonna be. He was like, I want that welfare card to be his album cover.
But you see RZA, ODB, and GZA hanging out together like old school times. So that's why I say, even though there's still that hurt, like ODB still, he still shows up at the very last minute in front of the guy because they got there and RZA only had the beats because there was no ODB to be found.
No ODB.
And when he got there at the very last minute, that's when the record label was about to be like, "Hey, it's cool, but we need an artist. We can't just have the beats." And then all of a sudden, ODB walks through the door, gets on the desk.
Was it Rawhide or was it Hippa da Hoppa?
Hippa da Hoppa.
It was Hippa da Hoppa, right? And so they're playing the beat and they're like, "Yeah, this is gonna be like this or whatever. It's gonna be cool." And they're like trying to They're trying to speak on his behalf,
trying to sell it basically.
Because the RCA cats or whatever, the Electric Cats, they were getting heated.
But those beats that on the ODB album, man,
they're so good though.
Boom, 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 boom. Man, I fucks with that. RZA, mad props, man. And I gotta say, in the
it's gonna be spontaneous, man. Just like when I walked through this door, y'all didn't expect that.
Let me ask you something. Up to this point, right? Not counting Triumph and Reunited, but up to this point, what album, including ODB, Method Man, and Wu-Tang's first, what album is the best beats?
Nah, man. I mean, I'm a 36 Chambers head, dude. But like Cuban Links.
Well, Cuban Links isn't, and I'm saying right now is because they're going to be working on that.
You're talking about right now. So, we don't have that yet.
So it's Method Man, ODB, and Wu.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of ODB's beats are fucking stupid.
The beats on ODB's, man. I got
dude, Rawhide, the Brooklyn Zoo, of course,
shimmy, shimmy,
Raw.
shimmy,
I mean, those are like classic, essential RZA beats, right? 36 Chambers, man.
36. See, to Cal, like,
and I love what the shit smoke. Pass it over here.
You know what? The one I like. See, this is the thing.
My
favorite off of Method Man's is I think it's the one with the trumpet.
Which one is that again? That should go hard.
Yeah, but beat wise, that's besides Mary J. Blige one. I gotta go with ODB's beats or 36
I'll put ODB's beats as a collective over Meth's, but I'm just saying, dude. Like that whole Hippa da Hoppa scene though, and then at the very ending when it's like you got GZA and you got all together now in the studio, and like ODB's freestyling over Rawhide or whatever, and that's when he's just like, "Yo, son, I just finished watching these Richard Pryor movies. I want to make like a rap comedy album. I want my welfare card to be the album cover,
which is a very
and then you get this like
ODB thing.
It's a very ODB thing when you hear him talking about it. But then, which is, of course, this is how it all goes down. And then you get that 1970s like bubble, like to be continued joint.
And then we go into the blaxploitation.
Here we go.
Blaxploitation.
Dirty Dancing in our first allegorical movie of the season. We see Dirty take on the persona of Dirt McGirt in the theme of a 1970s blaxploitation film. And as he finds inspiration for his first solo album, Return to the 36 Chambers, right?
And one of the best ODB's things that I fucks with him is when he raps. He's like,
hold on, we're gonna get into all this shit. So I like this episode, but I also don't like this episode.
I know. Okay, what's really strange is that the first time around I saw the first time I watched it, now this is the second time, right?
Yeah,
I didn't like it. The second time I love it.
So here's the thing. Hold on, before I get and so I think I wish they took all of these allegory episodes and just made a whole spin-off series for every clan member.
Oh, that would have been tight. That would have been tight.
Otherwise, these felt like wasted episodes for the true saga that they were going for. Like, we had a saga, and you put in 3 of these, like, I understand what we're doing. We're going into the mind of ODB, and I think it's a great, like, in that way, it's a great homage to ODB.
Mm-hmm.
But it also, it kind of does dirty because, like, you got him doing this, hey, man, come on, man, just flying from the building with a condom for, I mean, it's hilarious. And, like, the characters are outrageous, and it is all of what the dirty version is, right?
Yeah,
it is all Dirt McGirt and the whole thing, right?
That's why I say so ODB, because it is what
it is. 100%. We get a lot of Sly Johnson, TJ Adams music throughout the whole thing. Like, I don't know. It's a big blaxploitation film.
I see. The thing is, I like about these episodes is because you have the Wu and the basically everybody associated with this series play a different role.
And this one in particular,
yeah.
It took me a hot minute to realize that Airtight Mike. I know that they mentioned that in the beginning.
Yeah.
But when you first see the character who's playing, that's supposed to be RZA,
you don't realize it
because he's talking more like the way he probably actually talks.
He's got like the hair difference.
Honestly, it was like the least RZA and my most favorite performance from that actor.
Gotcha.
I really thought that he was hilarious. It's just so different.
I like Erica's.
Yeah, her boss mama shit.
And then the 2 thugs, which is Vine and Power.
Yeah. Their characters are great. Yo, their characters are great.
Yeah. I love Vine. Yo, Vine's hair is all like.
It's so wavy. It's
Farrah Fawcett.
It reminds me of what's the name of the actor?
It's just like Shaft, like that pimp. The fucking straight hair, you know what I mean?
Like, the straight hair, dog.
It's DJ Quick.
It's Snoop on occasion.
Snoop is all the pimps.
But it makes me think of that one actor too, man. That he was supposed to be in the Avengers. He was gonna be War Machine. He was in the first.
Oh,
and then they.
But you'll never ass.
Yeah, and then
the light skin.
Yeah. They booted his ass.
Yeah. So
which is sad because that dude was dope.
Yeah, he would
have been great. I like Cheeto though. Cheeto's dope.
I like both of them.
I like both of those actors.
I like both of them. But I seen this. It's funny you say this because the last season I think there was a scene that I said it was like Dead Prez and the Dead President's the movie. And
100%.
And this light skinned guy that we're talking about who used to be Iron Man on the first or War Machine on the first movie of Iron Man. He's in Dead Prez too, and that's why your narrow ass. Get your narrow ass
right, dog.
Yeah. He's like playing pool or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Get your narrow
That's so
ass
fucked up. I can't remember dude's name, dog.
I want to say it's like Lawrence or something, but
no,
I don't know. But anyway,
he was also in Hustle and Flow, right?
Yeah.
What I here for? I said, sing it. What the fucking minute, yo, dog, man. Yo, when ODB gets on the mic and does that dry throat thing, I'm not even gonna try to mimic it.
But you hear it in the album.
Yeah, you hear it in the album, you hear it in this, but he also, like, in a convection was like, you remember when we were kids?
Just laying down.
You try to see who could do that.
Like RZA was like, "Are you gonna record?" He's like,
Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. Yo, it's fucking ridiculous. The ending when at the ending of the episode, what was my favorite part of the episode, honestly,
was the condom.
That shit was hilarious. That shit was like Undercover Brother,
Undercover Brother was
blaxploitation of our era.
There's like the 2 black balls.
It's the man.
It's the man, right?
Yo, but it's the ending, like how they transition from this would-be movie, and suddenly he's on the stage. ODB doing shimmy, he's doing Raw. And you got that whole Soul Train backdrop.
Okay, but
that shit was so
let me get into this because
you got a piece.
Yeah.
Because I didn't write down much else.
All right, so we got RZA starts working with ODB, but ODB ain't feeling nothing. ODB goes into his own mind for the album, 70s pimp, black exploitation movies, gonorrhea. So
2 times.
So RZA is the club manager. ODB is a stage play guy. He's like a comedian. He's like an entertainer, but like he's too crazy. He pulls out his dick and shit like that. And Riz is like, "Nah, you can't be. Get out of here, right?" So now ODB's in this downward spiral. So you see where it goes into the last episode, right? So in this world, you have the divine Lady Marlboro, divine and power. They're like her thugs, but that's Erica, which is Riz's mom, and she's so like
amazing in this one.
so boss.
It's one of my favorite roles that she's done.
And divine and she power, they got the hair. They got the hair.
They're hilarious though.
So basically, ODB gets fired. There's a lot of Shaft, Foxy Brown,
100%. This whole sequence.
Yeah, and then Soul Train, but ODB has to fight Don Cornelius because Don Cornelius is working for the man.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then but the man is actually Jizzle Whiteface.
Yeah, yo, it's really crazy.
Right. So
it's really crazy,
right? So I as a young kid used to watch a lot of blaxploitation films, and there are some really great ones with really great music. Obviously Shaft, but there's one that's unknown and Foxy Brown, but one that you guys should check out is called The River Niger. The River Niger with Darth Vader. Who's that black guy who's got the voice?
Bell Atlantic. Oh shit! He just recently passed away too.
Yeah. He's got the voice of Darth Vader. He's the main guy.
Oh, that's fucked.
And there was another guy.
We suck.
There was like a lot of great actors. James Earl Jones. Yeah, and then
R.I.P. bro.
Yeah.
God, that was fucking tough.
Check it out because there's a song on there by the group War. Oh my God, that song! And I'm trying to make that into hip hop beat, just saying whatever.
All right.
But yeah, so a lot of blaxploitation, which harkens to my youth because I used to watch a lot of those. I'm like, oh shit, that's cool that they doing this. So ODB ends up getting shot.
That's right.
And he's I feel like this is a symbolic point because that screw up dies, and then ODB gets revived, and now he comes out as ODB. Without the shirt, he goes and starts doing the video of Shimmy Shimmy Y'all. And if you look at it, if you know and you look at the episode, there's a scene where they're about to shoot the video, and Riz is explaining how he wants the video to look to somebody, and that somebody is Mario Van Peebles. And later in the credits, you see that he directed this episode as well as the other episodes.
Word!
But Mario Van Peebles is in the actual.
Yo, that's fire!
Yeah, and
at the ending.
Yeah, but if you recognize who Mario Van Peebles looks like, then obviously you know it's him. But yeah, I was like, oh snap! And then as soon as that ended, I saw Mario Van Peebles directed by Mario. I was like, okay, that makes sense, right?
Yo, that's fire.
But the music on ODB's, this made me fall back in love with ODB. I have to say,
that ending put me in all the fucking feels, bro.
And I have to say, in all honesty, like I've always said this. A lot of people kind of like, what? One of my favorite, I mean, all of them are my favorite, but like one of my favorite people, and like I was the first to get is ODB, man.
I mean, he's one. He stands out of the fucking bunch.
And when you hear
Shame on, like when you hear that stuff,
when you hear, you're like, yo, not his goofy shit, but when you hear like Shame on or shit, you're like, yo, this guy can rap.
When he came out on Protect Your Neck,
yeah.
I'll be sticking pins in your head like a fucking nurse. Yeah, snakes,
man. Like
Massive Kill on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, and then of course, again. This is afterwards, after Woo. If you listen to ODB's, that one song that I said that you guys should listen to.
One of the last ones you did.
Yeah, that was no, I ain't gonna be poisoned no more. Like if you listen to that, you're like,
it's hard on sleeve shit.
But he was an MC, man. He was a goofy MC, but he carried it. And I gotta give it to the end. ODB will always be one of my favorite ones. R.I.P. man.
R.I.P. man. Respect to ODB.
But that's it for what I got for that episode.
So we're gonna swing into Daytona 500 at this point. Great record. Great record. Shit, that beat goes so fucking hard.
Forget about it, man.
Ghostface goes so fucking hard. Yo, the Wu-Tang Clan goes on a tour of the East Coast as we follow what happens between the shows on the tour bus. The guys quickly discover that living on a bus together might not be all fun as they're forced to deal. And that's all.
And you see
another dope Wu on tour joint with a ton of dialogue.
And you see a lot of I think it's from that documentary you were telling me about, where it's like the behind the scenes, the actual home footage of them in the tour bus.
Yeah, they recreate a lot of that.
Yeah, and it was like because Meth always talks. He doesn't let anybody else talk, right?
Yeah.
So
who was it that doesn't want to do that with him? You guys?
Yeah.
I don't want to go and do no interview with him.
So I got a bunch of notes here. It starts off like with the photo shoot, and they're all like they're like about to go into touring, basically. So
right there, pause 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
The photographer, when they go to take the photo, it's a little Easter egg. I mean, at this point, everybody's heard it, but he's like, all in together now. Right? Which is the name of Wu before they became Wu-Tang, right? Yeah, that was it.
All right. Sorry. I forgot I was on the notes.
Yeah, you don't want out here reading and shit.
You
You want
medicine.
fucking walking around, man.
I'm getting my medicine. All right.
Red needs his medicine.
So, women are complaining about this. So the whole thing is like, a lot of the women complain like this series. Like it's like they're not enough time spent with them. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
at the beginning?
Yeah.
The whole goodbye to everybody.
Yeah. Every woman has got an issue with everybody.
Now listen, Ghostface. Like,
yeah, like
I know you got your hoes, and I made my peace with that.
Mm-hmm.
But you come home, don't be falling in love with nobody.
And they be playing Samurai Showdown in the bus, which is one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
Wu-Wear travels with them.
Power's doing some side shit.
Yeah, he's doing some side shit, selling all the merch, everything. Mook is, and it's not Power, it's actually Mook.
Mook is the one doing that.
Mook is going around he's just at this point they're like, why is Mook always talking to the promoters like that, right? But they don't know nothing yet. So
Ray in particular seems like,
yeah, he's like, why is he's always looking bad at him and shit like that. Okay, so Mook is going, but he's going in the executive bus. And there's
Divine also,
and RZA wants to be in the executive, but
he's like, you're an artist.
Yeah, but
go be an artist.
And he says something there. He says, "Let them hate me."
I love this bit.
Don't let them hate you.
Respect for Divine on that.
Yeah. He took it hard, man. He took an L for the team.
You know,
but he's like, RZA, you have to be in that bus. You have to. You're like, you can't be with us because. Don't let them hate you. Let them hate me. All right, so that stuck out for me a lot.
Yeah, I like that line a lot. Dude.
You hear the la 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 la.
Yeah.
La, and everybody singing, ODB singing in the bus, like put some of this good shit, right?
Yo, dog.
Let's see. I mean, yeah. They all getting down on it. RZA turns the music down. He wants to do a set list. And ODB,
they're all like, man, fuck out. And he turns that shit right back out.
Yeah, ODB shuts RZA down by turning on the song again. Ghost and Ray don't like... Oh, yeah, they don't like that Mook is talking to the promoter like that. I put Moon. Being too close. And Power sees Black Market. Woo.
Yo, that whole area, that whole scene...
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's not. We don't have women's apparel yet.
Yeah. Let me find who and bring him into me.
Yeah,
right?
dude, and it's like some Godfather shit.
Yeah,
that dude thinks he's gonna get his ass beat.
Yeah, but Powers offers him a deal. He's like, yo, because he sees the math, right? And he's like, how many do you make? How much do you sell? How about? He's like, man, I don't want to get beat up. I don't want to get the cops called.
Yeah, he thought he was gonna get his ass beat.
He's like, how about you just sell the real shit like you're doing, but you're now selling for me, like, and part of that money comes back.
Motherfucker's all like, he's all like,
does that mean part of the womb?
Part of the womb. He's like, nah, fuck out of here. No. He shot that down. He said, "Fuck you." He shot that down.
So they see each other on now. Who was on the billboards? Which is
I love it.
Beautiful thing.
Yeah, nice little callback from the first season.
And there, you know, I guess we can put it out. I mean, everybody knows now. VA, right? So
Raekwon and Ghostface love Virginia
that's
Beach
what I
and
wrote
considers
down.
it a paradise.
That's what I wrote down. Virginia
talking
Beach
about recording
is
it.
not no paradise.
Yo, when he say that shit, I was balling, bro. But I was like, yo, they rock with us. They love us.
But this is also when
I
you
love
see
it.
when you see, well, you don't see, but if you know the thing, it's around the same time that you have the Virginia Woo, what are they called? Like
Woo Syndicate.
Woo Syndicate.
Shout out to Woo Syndicate.
So
We love y'all, man.
there's Virginia,
Those guys go hard.
Virginia. A lot of talk of Virginia, and Woo Syndicate's from Virginia, from down south, and Virginia Beach is down south, right?
Powers talking about like a lot of movement. He'd be like, "Yeah, I hit all these stores." Mook says that, in that Mike's Men or whatever joint, the documentary. He says he's like, I did the exact same shit I did up there. I did it down in Virginia. I did it all up and down Virginia. You know, dude, I love it.
Yeah, there's a lot of Virginia talk there, and
the Old East.
Yeah,
that's us, man.
Yeah.
We're the Old East.
So then you got Ray starts talking to Ghost about Mook. You know, he ain't feeling it, and now both of them see that he's talking to the promoter, right? So then this is where it gets a little bit iffy in the bus, because Master Killer ain't getting, like,
he's getting a cut.
He's getting a cut, but
he's not Wu-Tang.
But Ray's like, so who's Wu? Who's not in Wu? Because I see a lot of heads out here getting money.
Versus let's bring it to the team,
right? But then Mook is one of the other ones, and then so this whole thing, and it just starts dissolving at that point. Like it goes beef. Everybody brings up their beef with everybody. You guy doesn't want to do with meth. Ghost and Ray are pretty much the same. Ray's going against Riz all hard. You know, so
that entire piece, that was like one of my favorite shits, though.
Yeah, because it tells you how it's really.
Because you think about it, it's 9 different heads. How do you split that pie? And Meth Man's like, I mean, like Ray like fucks around and says like Meth should be getting some more money off of
because
this. He's like, don't be bringing me into this shit.
Yeah.
But then he's like, you know what? Matter of fact,
because if we're gonna go by lyrics, then I should be the one getting paid for everything.
Yeah.
I got most lyrics. So
what about RZA? He makes all the beats.
Right.
Like, dog, it's split that shit evenly and figure, you know, get your slice of the pie on your album. You know what I mean? Like, yo.
Let me see.
The only other thing is that I would make a note of from the episode before we get to the closing is that there was that interview that RZA does, right? And that journalist who's following him around taking the photos.
So flips. Hold on.
His article.
Before we get to that point, they warned RZA not to be talking to the press like that, and they warned him because they flipped the words, and then all of a sudden they see RZA talks ill about the South.
Yeah.
And they're in
the South, heading on their tour, heading south.
Yeah, and that turns out
they go to Myrtle Beach and shit gets sideways.
Wu Insults the South newspaper twisted RZA's words. I love their clothes. Their clothes in this episode is so 90s.
Word.
We're RZA, they feeling Mook in the money. Ghost having problems with RZA about Killer's money. Everybody's problems are out in the open. Wu gets chased out because they in the South. They went to
they like legit attack him after one of the shows and shit.
Wu gets long after the show, but money is still an issue. You got son gets shot mid tour.
Yeah, the way they portray that shit, and he like you could see. I mean, this is I think the pinnacle of this cat's acting in the series. Like that rage and that hurt and that fear. But hopelessness.
But everybody's like, yo, don't be doing nothing stupid.
Yeah, don't do none of that street shit.
We just made it.
Yeah.
Like, don't be, and obviously you guys from the streets.
And you got walks off this bus.
And that's how you see it.
And he walks off into the dust, and someone goes, yo, my piece is missing.
Yeah, and that's how it ends.
You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, not to get involved with that shit. Ghost, you guy takes Ghost's gun and heads to NY, man. So this will go into episode 5. But yeah, that's the pinnacle of his acting.
The rage that you see in the real tears,
the crying,
like
the teeth are chattering.
Like I don't know where that dude had to go in his head.
Yeah.
But like he looks like his son just got shot.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how I couldn't.
His real son in real life.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like the actor really sold that scene. And it's just so fucking heavy, dude. We're gonna get into A Better Tomorrow, which is a spectacular record off of Wu-Tang Forever. One of my favorite records. And honestly, it's like one of those records where it's like this solidifies them beyond just being like street rappers, right? They're leaving jewels for us. You know? Had I only listened to A Better Tomorrow a little bit closer when I was in high school.
Well, we didn't know those things.
I mean, it was more like, we were listening to it, we were reciting it.
Yeah,
when we talking about your seeds will grow up the same way. I'm like, I wasn't. It wasn't registering because I was out there partying my life away, drinking my life away, fucking my life away. You know.
But it's like the same thing we were doing, but we were singing it. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? It's like I wish I took notes. I love that record.
You know, just to give you, he's got the Wu on. I don't have the Wu, but I just bought this.
This tribe joint's nice though, man.
I gotta give it to Hip Hop Man. I gotta give it to Tribe because Tribe.
I can see Raekwon rocking this.
He would say,
like this out the way it's like designed in the shine.
He's like, you look like Ray. Man.
That's exactly what I saw.
I got this, which is the same color as this.
So
yeah, man, hell yeah.
Yo. Following the completion of the tour, we see the paths of a few lesser-known Wu-Tang members as they search for their individual voices amongst the crowd. I say this. I love this episode, which focused on giving love and shine to the clan members that don't get the same level of props and limelight as the mega stars of the group, right? Like, I thought this was a dope little episode. We get a little Angie Martinez over the radio, you know? Yeah, but outside of that,
I got
a breakdown.
A whole fucking thing here.
You just wrote up like word for word what happened. So, you wrote the script.
So you got is in the hospital,
right?
Because of this kid, you know.
That intro was so hard. That's the pinnacle too. Like we gotta blend these two together. But that's a part of this whole thing we're talking about.
And
goes in.
You see him suddenly start crying. But he's stable now. But the monitor, something, blah, blah, blah. So basically, there's stable, but then he drops. And this is like, you're thinking he's dead, you know, and you're like, fuck, right? But he goes back to normal. And U-God finds out who shot his kid, Shotty.
Yeah, this cat, Shotty, pulls this piece.
And U-God is about to shoot him. And basically, like, it was, what was it? Like he didn't shoot him.
Shotty?
Yeah, he sees him walk out.
Yeah, eventually, like later on in the episode, right?
Yeah.
And he like comes up at him.
Yeah,
and
he's like about to shoot him, but he's on the phone. His son calls him because he's better.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and he realizes,
if I kill this guy, it'll be for nothing because
and I'll go to jail and I'll never see my son. Yeah. And all the riches and money that I could make with the Wu. My son will all
gone, and he holds back. Yeah, that part is fucking again. This whole section is U-God's finest hour.
And like the women always filling men's heads with scheming ideas every episode. And Inspector wants to make his own beats, so he starts fucking around with RZA's shit, and this is like, oh man, like you can't touch RZA's shit, you know. So he starts fucking around with make beats. Master Killer kind of apologizes
to Ray, right?
Yeah, because he's like, it is what it is. Like this beef shouldn't be happening, type shit. But Master Killer is like, I'm out, type shit. Like he's like, I'm out. All right. Master Killer apologizes, but it dips. 5%er Elder is shocked at Killer because his name is Killer Priest. And
that's him.
Yeah, and he's like, yo, why is your name Killer? Right? Because 5%ers, like any people that, all right, so you have religions and you have people that follow religions, and some people are very hypocritical with their religious beliefs, and other people are really about their religious beliefs. And this elder and like all of them are really about their religious beliefs. So they are upstanding men, you know what I mean? And to name yourself Killer kind of just like you know. So that 5% elder is shocked that Killer is a rapper and Killer takes 5% super hard. So he takes the 5% of religion super hard. I want to say even harder than like anybody else. Maybe not Jizza. Jizza I think goes hard with it.
Jizz is
Master
hard,
Killer
man.
goes hard too, right? Blah blah blah. Super hard is in school as a kid about it. So there's a kid that's always following him, and he's like in the barber shop, and
That's right.
the kid kind of is like, man, like I don't want to just keep doing this guy's favors or whatever. And then Master steps out and schools this kid, and he's like, what's the rule for today or whatever?
What's today's math?
Yeah, what's today's math? And he's like, this, that, the other. And he's like, all right. So he schools him and kind of gets him back into the fold type shit. That's why I say Master Killer is pretty much down with the 5%er. Blah 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 about it. Killer at home feels isolated in general. He looks at himself.
He's keeping it low key.
Yeah,
like he doesn't let anybody know what he's been up to.
Yeah, he looks at himself in a lower way.
Yeah,
because he's coming from a family that's got musicians.
Fucking Marvin Gaye's like his grandfather.
So everybody's like rap, like really, and in his head he's got to like stand up to his own insecurities, right? Because he's coming from a family that's like legendary. Killer's future's now depending on income. You meets up with Power, remembers remember standing outside about to shoot the guy when he gets a beat from the hospital. Here's his son, sees the shooter but decides to leave him. So Wu-Wear store opens.
Yeah, that whole joint is super legit.
They like look at the store, they're all like, this, we made it type shit, right? Inspector flows to the beat he made for a soundtrack, and RZA gets mad.
Tales from the Hood.
Yeah. But RZA gets mad, but RZA digs it. He's like, wait, you went into my stuff?
Oh, yeah, he made his own beat and shit.
Yeah.
And that happens because Deck ends up like going back to the block, and he's getting a bunch of props and ends up getting hit on by the shorty, smash the shorty. And he's talking about that soundtrack and needing the beat, and he's waiting on RZA to cook. And she's all like, why wait for him?
Yeah, it's the woman conniving ways.
Right. Because you said they were putting the ideas. I was trying to remember a good scene. This is the one.
Yeah. So
and he just sneaks into RZA's joint and makes a beat, and he plays it like he pissed.
Yeah. No, but he likes it though. He's like, yo,
this is fucking dope.
This is dope. Now this episode is a lot more on like the lessers, right? So they all have their stories. They all kind of come together at
over
the
at
end.
the Wu
Wu
area.
So and then you have mathematics also involved because he's in the back doing the cuts and the beats. So then they put like
mathematics. Yeah, you get a little.
They put the instrumental and you got all three of them flowing at that point, which is a beautiful thing.
That was my favorite shit, dude.
Yeah, because I mean, all three are great lyricists,
and they're all talking about like, the song could be like this, and we gotta give something back to our seeds, man, and just right there organically create the hook.
I mean, man,
and like Deck was like, fuck your life for what? Like that's just like suggestion. I love it. I love that. That shit was so good.
No, but it's they're great lyricists. All of them.
Oh no, they deserve their shine, and I thought it was really spectacular that the episode really focused in on them and the other underdogs like Powers and Mathematics. Like those guys get they love too.
And the there's like this family member who's like a cab driver who's always like
Master Killer's uncle.
Yeah, and he's like, so they meet up.
He's like really trying to push that cab shit on.
Yeah, and it's a good deal, right? You can
you'd be set.
Yeah, and he was gonna be good, pension, all that shit, and Master's kind of like thinking about it, and then like I think like all of a sudden like his uncle puts on the tape or something. They hear Wu-Tang like on the radio.
He confesses because the dude was talking down on him about
it's like you can't be no rapper. Like
you can't be a rapper.
You're not gonna make no money off.
You say I can't be a rapper? I just got off tour with Wu-Tang, and he was like, "Wait a minute, you're Master Killer?"
And then they put the tape.
And then he puts the tape on. He's like, "That's my favorite part."
Yeah. So they had no idea. And he was like, "Listen, do the rap, do the rap."
And immediately he was like, "Fuck the cabs.
Do the rap.
You go out there and beat Wu-Tang." Yeah, I thought that shit was so dope. Then the episode basically comes down to this moment where you see Ray and Ghost, right? and they hear that Biggie One More Chance joint.
They don't like how it's spreading all over. And this is
it's the remake. They're like, wait a minute, there's somebody already on top.
And this is the thing. It's like because they just came back from Toronto. They just came back to New York.
Like the success is like,
and Biggie's being played by everybody, even Cherie. And Cherie's like puts it on repeat or whatever. And this is like where they say something like, man, we on top. We always got to fight to stay on top. There's going to be a lot of heads that are going to be trying to take our spot, And it's true.
Can't sleep, but strike while the iron's hot.
But to be honest, man, look. I made joke about the diddler. I made joke about Bad Boy came out with guns blazing because of Biggie. But in my opinion, in my honest opinion, Biggie was the only gun that Bad Boy had. I feel. 112. Mace, everybody else, 112 specifically, I fucks with 112 hard. But Mace,
Lil' Kim,
it's no weight compared to Biggie.
Not compared, but she was a massive part. Junior Mafia,
but none of them compared to Biggie. That was their gun.
Biggie was the guy.
Because once Biggie died, what happened to Bad Boy?
Once Pac died, what happened to Death Row?
That was their gun. You see what I'm saying? So they came out with guns blazing, but in my opinion, that's what I say. In my opinion, I feel like Biggie was their only gun that they had.
Wu-Tang had 9 sharp swords, man.
Yeah. And that's why to this day, fucking, you got this shirt everywhere in the world, right? You don't have Bad Boy apparel everywhere.
Right. Well, Sean John.
Yeah, but still, it's not Bad Boy though. You know what I mean?
But
it doesn't say Bad Boy.
Right. No, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. This is comb shit. Yeah. I get that. So when Ray was talking about how he realizes that they can't sleep, and he's like, we're next. It's on us.
Yeah.
Because we have to
come with that album, man.
Like it has to happen now.
Yeah.
And then you start hearing the Black Ivories. I keep asking you questions. Start to play, which is eventually, and as you're listening to it, you finally realize it's the sample for Criminology, right? Which is super slick. How they segued this episode into the next, because the next episode is Criminology, and so it's our second allegorical movie of the season. We examine Raekwon's inspiration behind his first solo album, Only Built for Cuban Links, through the lens of 90s gangster cinema. Shout out to John Woo. I like this one better than ODB's allegorical episode for many reasons, but I'm also echoing the same points that I made in the previous one. It's dope. It's dope. It's a whole John Woo, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, so I call this the Mafia episode.
Yeah.
Right? So like Ringo's want Wu to dominate, but you got rivals and everything plays out like a mob movie, Godfather, Hospital. Enemies, RZA tells Ghost to take over in the mob movie episode Ice Cream at a strip club. As Ghost and Ray walk in, so you hear like the music of the ice cream.
Yeah, the music also is like hyper highlighted. I think a little more. Yeah,
it is, because especially the strip club, as Ghost and Ray walks in, like some G's, purple color all over the place because purple.
It's the purple tapes,
right? So there's all over the place. They mentioned Noodles again, which is interesting, right? And I put Noodles laugh out loud. Ray tries to. But it gets distracted. Ray gets distracted by females. Always distracting and scheming. Ghost makes purple tops and sells hard money.
Yeah, we got the purple tops.
And then basically we're like, it's like a movie. The cop asks money for money.
Yeah, that's like straight out of Scarface, right?
Right. You ain't no cop. Whoever said you was. Frank.
Now wait a minute.
You can't shoot a cop.
Can't shoot a cop. Maybe you can give me one of first class tickets to the Revolution.
And a detective runs into Ray, movie cop, asks for money. Ghost protection racket. Tony Stark's. That's also mentioned. And if you guys don't know, that's another persona of.
All of their names are represented. When you watch the title card, you got Lex Diamond, Tony Stark's Bobby Steels.
Yeah.
Now Maximilian for Jizza, I'm not sure. I don't really hear. Rolly Fingers for Dak Massacre's Noodles.
You
got Lucky Hands.
It's funny because I had a friend named Noodles back in my old neighborhood, and like It was like what? I mean, I didn't even know his name. That's what we call him. Call him Noodles.
Detective Greco.
Yeah.
I felt that way
Greco.
about Casper. I don't know Casper's real name. No, wait, that is his real name.
That is his real
That's
name.
his real name.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to Casper. No, who am I thinking about though? There's another cat that they used to call the cat like Bin Laden.
Oh, Bin Laden. Yeah, I
I
forgot.
don't know dude's name.
No, there's so many that we had nicknames of. I never knew.
I don't know their real names though. I don't know their real names.
What do we got? And then Cherie is like Elvira from Scarface. She's got the haircut.
Oh, word up. Yeah, she is. Cherie looking great in this.
Yeah, she got the sexiness. Ghost and Ray gets shot up. Everybody gets hit in the car explosion shootouts. Now, this is where it becomes.
Riz is in the hospital bed, right?
Yeah, and this is like The Godfather with the enemies coming in. They're like, where the fuck is who just went in there type shit. But this is where it gets interesting. This episode, I don't know if you caught this, but you have Biggie, you have Big L, I think you have Nas,
and you have Fat Joe.
Yeah,
from all the boroughs.
Yeah, and it's all like the mafia because they.
Yo, there's just hold on. I gotta get that Easter egg out, dog. Like,
do your thing.
When we meet Biggie, when they first talk about Frank White.
Yeah.
Right, they're like talking to him, and they're like, and Ray's like, look, he's been in the game for years.
Yeah.
There's rules to this shit, which of course alludes to 10 Crack Commandments. But the way they slipped that in, I thought that shit was fire.
No, and Biggie's like the godfather of his borough. Big L's the godfather. Escobar is the godfather, and Fat Joe,
Don Cartagena.
Yeah, is the godfather. So it's cool how they have it. Like they involve the New York. At the time, the New York bosses.
Yeah, and that's what they were. They were the bosses of the boroughs.
Fat Joe came Big Pie.
Yep, right? DITC, digging in the crates and all that.
Yeah, so the Godfather.
Terror Squad.
The Terror Squad, man. Say Triple Six.
Yo, shout out to Triple Six.
Forget about
Cuban Link.
Cuban Link. There you go. There's that connection.
Yo, come on.
Yeah, so that's basically what it is. And then Ghost gets shot, and then Biggie cameos. Maybe Nas. I'm not sure if that was Nas. I want to say it was
Escobar
Nas.
was Nas.
Yeah, that I knew it.
That was Nas. Name. No, it was Big L that I was like.
Yeah.
El Corleone.
But he looked like him.
And he looked like him.
And so, and then Greco is the shooter.
Yo, Greco is that whole story and the sit downs and shit. I love that whole thing, man. I also like when you God is talking about the purple cops and they're trying to sell them.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys all like, just because that shit looks different doesn't mean people are gonna buy that shit.
It's all these funny things.
And Ray's like, no, we'll sell it for cheap, and we'll get the fiends hooked on it, right? And so because cassette tapes are cheaper than CDs, but the tapes are purple, right? Mm-hmm. Like, yo, the way they did that shit was so fucking nasty.
Man, we're talking about tapes.
Yo, I literally,
so old.
I feel so funny, man. Like, because we're gonna blow right through all this. I'm not gonna read any of this. I wrote an opus for this episode. Like, I went piece by piece
for the next episode
for this one, and there's just no point, dude. Like, I wrote. You'll be sitting here listening to me tell a fucking bedtime story.
Yeah, this one's a big one. I have a lot here. I mean, you want to go or do you want me to go?
So let's. No. We've talked about this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think we go to shadow boxing, but I want to close it out though. First thinking he was the sheriff. It turns out that Riz is the guy on the inside. Turns out that Riz was behind a bigger plan to shake the competition. Okay. Ray says by the time we go back to reality, Ray is saying that he needs to establish his own branding. And there's a lot of tapes out there. Mm-hmm. So he wants the tapes to be different, right? And he convinces the record company to make his tapes purple as they'll stand out. And then we get the scene where someone's putting the tape into a boombox at the park, and someone's all like, hey, yo, what's that purple shit you got there? And dude is like, oh, you ain't hear this shit? You're going to love this. And it's just like the Fiends.
Yeah.
Of course, the rest is history.
Yeah. And that's, I love it.
I enjoyed what they did with this. But again.
In general, though, like, I think the writing in all this series is, like I said before, when we were doing the first and second, if you're ahead, then this show's for you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's just these jewels.
A lot of jewels.
And even in these allegorical episodes, like, there's a ton of, like, just musical references and, like, overall vibes. You know, the characters, the personas that are being portrayed.
It takes you back to those days, right? Like, I don't know. Even like when you see at the very end like Ghost and Ray like chilling before this episode where they're like with Shuri and she's playing Biggie or whatever.
Yeah.
And how like Ghost was standing like this with his leg up like
yeah,
this.
Yeah.
It's so 90s.
It's so 90s.
It's so 90s. And like I want to say like one pant leg pulled up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I used to rock it, man. Like with one pant leg. So L Cool J, shout out to my man L.
You know, I got those Johnny Warbucks socks, right? And so like I had these socks, and I was wearing them at my job. And I had my one leg up so I could see, so that they could see me rocking them. And they're like, "What are those?" They're like, "Man, is that you on the socks?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I got my own brand." They're like, "What? Where can we buy these?" I'm like, "Nah, it's not like
he's got his own tops."
Yeah, that's right. I got my black tops, but my Warbucks tops. Yo.
Man.
Let's get into shadow boxing. This is another episode I think that you and me like strongly relate to. In order to secure a deal for their new label, Divine must deliver on the promises that he made.
Before that, let's just start with Divine has his birthday of his kid coming out.
That's the premise, right?
That's
the main premise.
That's the main thing.
Promises he made to music executive Tommy Mottola. But upon returning to Wu Mansion, he learns that signing members and getting Dirty to feature on a song is easier said than done.
Mottola is married with Mariah Carey,
by
the way.
Oh, I didn't even put that together.
By the way.
At that time. Okay.
That's why he was like...
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Super dope song choice for the title, Shadow Boxing, because this whole episode is about Divine behind the scenes dealing with jabs and punches and losing the battle of the day in the life as a manager that is relatable to me in music, in business, and in life in general. Like watching this episode makes me think of past jobs I've had, makes me think of when we were recording or like particularly when I was like at Stark House Studios trying to ring up Corleone and them and trying to get them to record with me and like scheduling stuff and hearing like different diva-esque bullshit. Trying to make things happen, and it's always like some
that's what it
roadblock.
is. It's Alpha Divas.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what it is, man.
I mean, like everyone's a fucking rock star.
Everybody, man.
Us included. Like it's just so crazy
it's
when you have these egotistical minds trying to come together to make something.
Well, I honestly think that me and him have been making music forever prior to my group, prior to my rap solo, right? He's like my first guy, and we back in the day used to like just get instrumentals off of YouTube or whatever and just record.
That didn't exist yet, man. We were like samples.
No, but this is what.
Oh, when we were chopping them up off the internet, like getting
that's where I'm at.
Real underground shit.
So we were chopping different samples and all that shit, and you may not make beats, but you understand the process of editing.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't understand the process of editing. I didn't even understand the process of making beats at that time. I was just a writer. That was all I did. Granted, I didn't have my producer, and it was just him who was more knowledgeable with the editing of the sound
engineering.
But we were still kids. We didn't really know what we were doing, right? But like at the end, those songs are our two best songs, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Three best songs.
For sure.
So
for sure, they're jewels.
So the thing is, it's like when this episode specifically. Like, I know you can relate to this because of that fact. I know how serious you took going to the studio and laying your heart out because you weren't just an MC. And this is, I think, a problem that I have because I'm from two worlds of MCing and producing. And as an MC, you got to come with that ego. Because you create a world, you create this persona, you have this ego. What are Johnny Warbucks? Like,
that's exactly who that is.
Right. And even
it's John.
Even if it's
exaggerated,
even if it's not that, it's like I'm Chris, but I go to the dark side and I exaggerate the dark side. So whatever we do, we go into it hard, right? So like other heads. This is why we have this we have to have an ego in this because we create these worlds. But we also understand the other part of it. And the other part, you have to be humble. And you can't come at the, and I know I've said this before, but you can't come at the beat with your arrogance saying, I'm going to be the rapper who's going to rap on this beat. You got to come in there and be like, this song is going to make me become the rapper that's going to go along with what the song's asking me to go with. Right, so we had this mentality. A lot, and this is That's why I suggest a lot of MCs and rappers out there, don't limit yourself. Like, learn how to make beats, because then you're gonna you're gonna realize this is literally a balance between two, the humble and the arrogant. You know, you can be both. You have to be both if you're going to be producer and MC. Producer is always about letting the muse tell you what to do, and MC is you telling the music what you're gonna do.
Yep.
I mean, but if you understand the process of that fine balance, then you'll be the best MC and you'll be the best producer. Nas, to me, is right on that balance. Eminem, even though I may not like his voice, whatever, he's right on that balance.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, but then you have other people where I'm just like, you're not on that balance. Like, and you're famous and you're out there and you're making your money, but you're not in that balance. And you see this. You see, so this is what this episode is about. And if you're finished with what you got to say, I can go on with what I got to say. But yeah, that's why I love this episode.
I mean, look, from here it's the play-by-play, right?
Yeah, I got the play-by-play too.
I will say for an Easter egg that we do hear ODB's manager mention Buddha Monk.
Yeah.
That's one of Dirty's people's.
Oh, isn't that his brother?
I want to say it's his brother, right?
Yeah.
If it's not his brother,
which you don't see him in the thing.
But that's like his zoo heads, right? They're called like
Zoo.
The zoo. ZU, right? Like that's what they were called, right?
Yeah.
And Buddha Monk was like the standout of that group.
Yeah.
And he does have a lot of ODB in him.
He does.
But he's like more serious.
One of my favorites by him is man, I don't know I can't remember the name of the song, but I do remember his flow. I put 3 and 4, I put 3 in your neck and 4 in your back. It's off the Wu Chronicles.
Oh, word.
It's not an album that it's the lessers, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
but
he shows up on Think Differently music and shit.
It's like the Dragon Punch or something like that.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
He's got an energy that is like ODB,
but more gangs.
Yeah, more streetish.
More killer.
Yeah, for sure. I like Buddha Monk. He's dope.
No, straight up, he's one of my favorites.
But yeah. So basically, Divine's like he's trying to make it to that kid's 1 year. His kid. So I made his 1 year, first year birthday party. Divine has a meeting with Jizza about liquid swords. You know what I mean? And
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you take it. I'm gonna let you take it.
All right. So
because I'm just gonna start hitting it.
So this is we're 7, right? Yeah, we're 7.
Yeah, number 7.
Okay.
Shadow Boxing.
Yeah. So comes in Vine meets with Matola, which is Mariah Carey's husband. ODB project is in speaking where they're talking about it. Now, what are we talking about?
Me and Mariah.
Go back like
babies and pacifiers. Yo, fantasy, dog. Like in the real time.
In real time.
Yeah.
So brought up doing fantasy remix with ODB. Vibe has his kid's birthday to go to and has to get all the Wu together. Everybody's having a party at the Wu Mansion, by the way.
Yeah, this is like and we're talking like
heads that they
like
don't
the
even
movie
know.
House party.
Yeah, heads don't even know.
Like it's a party. Like,
you ever see Carlito's Way, where the guy is lawyers having like he's like, why don't you have sex like normal people? Go in the fucking bed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like some Can't Hardly Wait shit.
Yeah.
But hip hop.
So he has to they're all having a party at this Wu Mansion. Wu has to get or Vine has to get them all together. Now there's full of people that Vine doesn't know. ODB has a new manager.
This guy.
Yeah, so some white boy who is a snake and a half.
Yeah, he is definitely like greasy guy.
Greasy, man. He's
like whoever this cat really is, they portrayed him like.
So Vine ain't digging him. He's at the mansion, and Ghost is MIA. And something's up with him. Like nobody knows where he's at.
Yeah, like, and he needs him to sign a contract, right?
Yeah, everybody needs to be there for everybody's certain reasons, particular reasons. But
Cherie is like getting really pissed and looking for him.
Yeah, so let me see. Jizza needs album ASAP, Geffen, or not Geffen. Yeah, Geffen called. His actually, I thought it was Steve Geffen, but it's Steve Rifkin.
Rifkin.
But Geffen is basically
Geffen Records.
Yeah, Geffen Records. So Geffen calls, talking about maybe getting into legal because they I think it was the logo, if I'm correct. Like they needed the logo. I don't know, something, but they were talking about getting into legal, so there's more pressure on Vine. Vine at this point is starting to have a mild panic attack.
Yeah, you see you see him like bubbling,
and you hear the heartbeat in the background.
Yeah.
So talking about maybe taking illegal, and this no one knows where Ghost. Nobody knows where Ghost is either. ODB doesn't want to do the Mariah song, which is
I think is
crazy.
Unbelievable.
Fucking crazy.
And also in that it's crazy to think that Christmas song, All I Want for Christmas, comes before Fantasy.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that feels like such a later Mariah Carey song to me.
It wasn't at the same time that no, you know why?
Because I checked the dates on it. It predates Fantasy.
No, check it. This is what I was about to say is because at the time Mariah was such a fucking thing, man.
She was massive.
Because I want to say she just finished the Boyz II Men at that time. I want to say
that song was huge.
That was gigantic, man. And to be honest, she is one of my crushes from back in the day.
Fuck, man, Always Be My Baby.
That first album, oh my god.
She's on that lake swinging on a tire swing, dog.
With the flare. Yeah. This is
Girl Next Door.
Yeah, the 90s Girl Next Door. Right.
But fly, dog.
She was.
And she's like getting down with all these hip hop cats.
Yeah, man.
And the R&B cats.
Made her more.
That was my homie.
No,
I still get it.
Yeah, no, she for real. Like, she's
shout out to Mariah.
She's a beautiful, and like she's older now, whatever. But
no, I rock with her.
But and to say that she doesn't have, she's still got the pipes, man. She can sing.
That chick can. When she wants to, she gets busy.
So there we go.
That one New Year, she didn't do so hot.
Right. So he doesn't want Mariah. He doesn't want to be on the song. But Vine is having
He wants $1 million.
Yeah. Vine is having a panic attack. Deck records his shit on GZA's on GZA. I don't know. Vine is getting phone. Oh yeah, because GZA at this point he wants to create his album, but
he needs everybody.
He wants everybody, but it's hard enough to get them to get together to sign for their own money. To get them to make a recording.
Yeah, he figured it was payday, like everyone would roll through.
Right. So Vine is getting phone calls left and right. It's just nonstop. He's like trying to get them together. Time is running out. His kid's having a birthday. His secretary's calling him saying that Geffen is calling. Then that she can't find ODB. Then his girl's calling. No, his secretary's like, your kid's birthday. Your kid's birthday. His wife or his girl.
I'm gonna be there before the candles.
Every.
I'm gonna buy her something.
Every hour, I guess, like not an hour in our world, but hour in that show.
Yeah.
It's like calls. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. Just make it a little bit later.
Just buy her something from sales, man.
No, but he was like, that broke his heart because he was like, here, just take this money and just buy whatever this money can get, and that broke his heart hard because he was like, I'm gonna get him there. I'm gonna get this, that, the other. So Vine, Capadonna is introduced.
Yeah, we get him and Raekwon spitting Winter Wars in that cipher. And Divine celebrates his perfect time to announce that we're signing Capadonna.
Yeah, right.
To the RZA Razor.
But I want to say in front of
Deck.
Yeah.
And Deck does not fucking appreciate this at all.
No, not at all. Introduced, he gets signed with Razor Sharp. No, it's Rebel Lion. Inspector Rebel ain't digging this at all. He ain't signing it. Ray ain't paying his debts.
Yo, going over that spending money thing, and Raekwon's like, "Fucking, I ain't paying."
Yeah, I ain't paying, and that's like $60,000 or something like that.
This is this day in the life is a very expensive day.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not just Ray that's burning money. I think we're gonna get to that.
Yeah. So then we got
and Deck comes at Divine.
Right. So then Ray ain't feeling Vine. ODB says he'll do the song for $1 million. Sharik comes through looking for Inspector.
No, she's looking for Ghost.
For Ghost, like hard.
Hard. Obsessively.
Hard.
Stressfully.
Yeah.
Banging on doors.
No, yeah, right. And Inspector wants to know how come he ain't signed. And he gets Divine. he like steps up.
And Divine's like tripping
Yeah.
because he's like, we can't talk about this
Yeah.
right fucking now. And Deck is like, we have to.
Yeah, Divine gets told by Ray and Inspector that they ain't part of, they ain't gonna be part of the Wu no more. They kind of walk out by both of them. And at this point, on top of everything, on top of Geffen, on top of missing his kid's birthday, on top of the secretary calling him left and right, on top of everybody, that's just fucking Vine is almost
He's
dead.
spiraling.
I feel so bad
dude,
for Vine.
And everyone's like hating, he's mad at him.
Yeah.
He's desperate. He
But-
needs things.
But
from
what
all of them.
was that thing I said? Let them hate me.
Yeah,
not
let
you.
them hate you. And that's this episode personifies it.
So
Power showing up.
Yep. And he can't pay no attention to Power either.
And he wants to talk about that Wu wear shit.
Yeah.
And he gets like, and Power gets like hurt
He
too.
gets hurt. So this white
And that
man.
phone's ringing the whole time
Yeah,
while
the
Power's trying to talk to him. God,
Louder and louder.
it's stressing me out.
That's what I'm saying. Like I felt that.
Oh
stress.
God! Like they did such a great job with this episode.
So
It's probably my favorite episode.
Yeah, it's a great episode. Those Ray Inspector, they ain't part of this, so they walk out. The white manager, ODB, is ruining ruining everything.
And he's just running this fucking tab.
Yeah,
out.
like hardcore. ODB finally decided to get on through his manager, even though Vine
echoing what Divine already said to him.
Like, that's the exact same thing I just said. But no, I just got it because he said it. You know what I mean? So there's this pettiness from ODB that's starting to grow. Like I said in the last episode, like it's cool that they were together, but there's a hurt there. Now that hurt is becoming a thing, right? So manager for 50,000 instead of $1 million.
Yeah. And he talked him down. That's right.
Manager spending Wu's money. Divine calls Geffen and tells him he's glad the album is ready by next week. Great news. Jizza is a player pimp because he's like making out with some girl. Divine says Jizza can't get all the Wu heads involved in Jizza's album, even though Jizza wants the whole clan involved, or nothing, which is another problem. You know, now Jizza's going to be out, even though they just told Geffen that Jizza's like got the album going, right? But if he can't get him, so now
he said, "I need everybody, or else I'm not doing it."
And now there's 3 heads of the Wu that I'm basically like I'm out type shit. Divine says Jizza can't get all the Wu there, blah blah blah. Another panic attack. Something's
that's like this is like the pinnacle of it.
Yeah, and something's wrong with Ghost. He might be diabetic. Ghost ain't feeling it.
And that changes like the entire because it's just so intense.
Yeah.
And up, amp.
So
and
basically,
then it's like,
basically what happens
and then it's a gas.
Is Vine's looking for Ghost and Cherie's
Sign the
looking for
contract.
Ghost. And Cherie's, when we said that she was coming in hard, she's kicking down the door.
Literally kicking down the door.
Yeah, and so they finally open the door and
he's laid out.
He's laid out. And then they call the doctor because he wasn't waking up. So they call the doctor.
They had to keep it all private and secret.
Yeah. So, he's diabetic and he ain't dead. But the tempo of the episodes then starts coming down.
Yeah, it calms down.
Yeah,
it's
the crescendo.
brilliantly done.
It's the crescendo.
Straight up.
Man. Yeah.
It's like the ending on one mic.
Yeah, exactly. Or even like Michael Jackson, the crescendo. So dun. Anyways, so
Crescendo. Yeah, I got you now, dog. It took me a minute.
Ain't feeling Cherie and Ghost are back to being good. So they're always up and down. They're always like, oh man, like you got all these girls.
Yeah, fuck your life. Fuck your life.
I love you.
We're gonna get married. We got kids together.
Blah blah blah. Diabetic Ghosts are back to being good. Inspector dips. He just dips.
I hated this part.
He just dips.
I'm so glad whatever it was got resolved.
Yeah, man. That was the sad part. Divine misses his kid's birthday.
Yeah.
Ghost at the end, he just can't make it. Ghost sings with the Wu. Geffen called back saying that if Jizza's album coming out next week, they need to discuss the press packets, album art, and so on. But Jizza says, you ain't gonna do it without the Wu.
And it ends basically like everybody's left the mansion. It's like now it's suddenly quiet because at one point he erupts and tells everybody to get the fuck out, right? But it ends like on such a Divine's all alone.
And he gets in the car
and he accomplishes he gets the contract signed. But man, there was a heavy financial cost,
and
and a heavy emotional cost, and a heavy personal
and
cost.
psychological cost. Yeah, personal.
Because of the birthday, right? Of his, first birthday.
You see that
That
actor.
deflation at the end. And
that actor is such a great actor because there was another. I want to say when Wu first went up on stage in that episode where they like broke through or whatever. And like, there's a scene where like Mook and
right, they're
and,
absorbing that this is happening.
Yeah, and you see Vine crying.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that actor is such a good actor because like when I saw that for like that second, I was like, man, I want to cry for
right,
and like
right.
we made it, you know, like
we made
it. we made it, right?
It's fun. It's absolutely bananas, dog.
But he's a great actor, and he portrayed that stressful scene, the panic attacks, so great.
Let's go ahead and get into Liquid Swords, the last allegorical movie.
So before we get there, real quick, let me ask you, what's your favorite allegorical movie? Now we have three.
This is tough because I personally really do. I like Criminology the best.
Okay.
I really do. I love because it's all the movies I watched back in the day, right? Like it's all there. Mm-hmm. And I would put second this one. Mm-hmm. I mean, ODB's was my least favorite. Mm-hmm. Because it was, and I love the whole blaxploitation thing. Again, I don't know, man. With ODB, it's just tough for me, I guess. But the way they did Jizz's thing, I wanted it to be different. Let me break this down, and I'll give you a quick one-liner. For the third allegorical movie of the season, we follow Jizza, who takes on the persona of the genius as he journeys through an alternate reality, New York City, to unite the people using the music from his debut solo album. All I write here is third and final allegorical episode that I wish wasn't set in such a futuristic setting, wishing it took an old Japanese shogun samurai meets modern street boss record industry approach instead.
Yeah.
How's that? Because like this feels a little bit more like we're doing the Shogun thing, but it's the Matrix. Or it's Terminator, like in the future, the apocalyptic future, right? Like where the music has been so watered down that the world is desolate, you know? And the way they do the Abbott thing, I don't know. It's got Sling Blade.
I personally like it because
I mean, watching it this time again, I didn't feel as salty about it. I actually really enjoyed this episode a lot. I really enjoyed it a lot.
No, it's interesting because this episode, now that I rewatch it, I'm like the same way with you. For me, like my favorite in order would be it's like the exact opposite of you, right?
That's crazy.
So I got the ODB
that's up top.
It's up top for me.
That's awesome.
And then it's the Jizza, and then it's
Criminology at the bottom. That's hilarious.
Now the reason I like the Jizza is because it's got this definitely kung fu feel to it.
It does.
And like if
I wanted the intro of Liquid Swords, and I didn't get that.
No,
we got Fifth Chamber.
We got the with the war.
It's war. It's futuristic.
So I like it because it alludes. If you watch the video of what's the song that you just said right now?
Fifth Chamber.
Yeah, Fifth Chamber. You watch the video of Fifth Chamber. You see the military caps, all that shit, and like you have like in the episode like this kind of war zone kung fu thing. So let me get into my part. The reason I was listening to my phone right now is because I actually sampled a part of this episode.
Oh wow!
It's the vocals where he's like, "What's the matter with uncut raw hip hop? Because it inspires rebellion."
Yeah. What's my man's name? Cyrus. What did they name that guy?
Well, let me get into
it's Rick Yoon from Fast and Furious. Die Another Day.
Yeah. So what it is Jizza won't be able to get all the wool, but still comes out eventually. Eventually Jizza's montage starts. Description of the kingdom's Mecca keeps creating it.
Yeah.
So Brooklyn keeps making. think about it, KRS-One, right? Very much kung fu-ish montage derives from Lone Wolf and Cub. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but they talk about it in their while they're watching the movies. And Khalil, another one who should watch the show, has definitely that's his favorite movie. He put me onto it.
Word.
Samurai walks around with this little kid.
Oh,
And
okay,
he goes
okay.
in all these fights. And
Okay.
he's like a samurai in that time, right? The kid's like in this like cart, like kid baby cart or whatever. Blah blah blah. Cup. Wu versus Pop. So that's the whole thing because
This is Wu-Tang against pop culture, and like they wanted GZA to.
because you got to think what was out at that time.
Well, and what was working for Wu on the larger scale?
Right.
Method Man with Mary J. Blige,
Right.
ODB with Mariah Carey, right?
But even those are still very like pop, but pop.
I mean, dog,
But,
fantasy.
No, you're right. But I mean, I feel
I mean,
like
all that I need maybe on a lesser
Yeah,
scale,
yeah,
but
all
we're
that-
talking.
fantasy, no, definitely that was.
Come
But the thing is, it's like
Pop
pop
SWV
pop
joint.
was becoming. It's hard to do it with hip hop because like in one aspect, it's like, okay, is Puffy hip hop or is Puffy pop?
Hip hop.
Well, is Biggie pop?
I would say yes.
Is Jay-Z pop?
Yes. Look, I think that there's hip hop and then
There's
hip-hop,
like pop
right?
within hip hop.
And particularly when you start doing the infusions,
Mm-hmm.
like those songs that we're talking about, I would call them.
Even Run DMC.
I would call them hip hop, R&B, pop collaborations. Like they come together to create pop records.
Yeah, but see, this is what I'm saying. Okay, what are the elements of hip hop though?
Right. I mean, but how much scratching are you hearing out here? How much DJing are you hearing?
That's true too.
But you have the other elements there. Like you
That's
have a
true, too.
producer.
That's true. The freestyle, and the beat making, the writing, all that stuff.
The dancing in the music videos is there
Yeah,
to a degree.
but see, it's always been there.
But the fashion is there. That culture is represented.
See, so this is where it gets weird because it's like, perfect example. Ice Cube. Ice Cube is at one point was the like opposite of pop. It's hard just to say that word because I don't put Ice Cube at the same level as Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera.
But
Or
think
Justin
about
Timberlake.
It Was a Good Day.
That's what I'm saying. Does that make it pop?
Was it on a billboard? I mean, look, it was on a chart. And it wasn't.
Okay.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
let me get back to this, right? Because we're going on. So it's Wu versus is pop, right? GZA needs to reconnect all the Wu. All dope lyrics have a message, and that's one of the things he says. GZA needs Master Killer to join. Master, if is iffy about it, then Killer gets a book with I cannot. It's one of those auto spellings. With a grenade on it, like Killer Army.
Yeah, we do get a feature from him.
Mm.
It's a ninth.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's Ninth Prince.
Yeah. So,
Who happens to also be Riz's younger brother, right?
yeah, if I'm correct.
No, it's his younger brother.
Your cousin. I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Younger brother.
Blah, blah, blah.
But yeah, Power Outage. Divine's talking to Jiz about this new record. Before we even get into the allegory, there's a power outage that happens in the real world.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when the power goes out, GZA is talking about the new record, Method Man and ODB. They have the celebrity R&B artists. All GZA wants is the clan on board, but Divine says he needs to connect with RZA to make that happen. And that's when GZA logs in with his headphones. He logs in.
Yeah, you're right. And then goes into this world.
And into the Liquid Swords world, right?
Yeah.
And that's how we get there, that post-apocalyptic Matrix style universe. Go ahead, my bad, man.
So you
Genius Abbott, the Wally King, Wally Champ, ODB's the fatherless child. I love that shit.
So, but you also see more
Dex Manifesto, You Gods the Idols,
right?
King,
And see, I got
Chief Iref.
Manifesto appears looking all crazy.
Why they do that to death?
Because in a lot of the hip hop, or not hip hop, in a lot of the kung fu movies, video games aspects.
There's that one drunken master.
No, not drunken master. There's literally a crazy guy who's like just super crazy.
That's interesting.
Like
So
you
then-
think about Samurai Showdown.
yeah, sure.
There's that guy with the and it's got like his like whatever the long sleeves.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that harkens back to
Okay,
movies,
okay.
right?
I respect.
But
yeah, I mean, I just felt like they did Deck dirty on that. But I hear you. Though.
It's and then but you see on the like light switch because every time they have to. So okay, Cherie and you got are like in this bunker and like it's like a war. They're fatigued out. They're trying to get their message out, but like the communication is very limited, and they need they have like a picture of like the city, the Medina, the Mecca, all that shit. But you have like a W in the middle, and like the W, and each point of the W has to be lit, so like the rest of it gets lit and lit and lit, and every time
for the message to be spread.
Right, yeah, and every time that one that just ends up getting one of these heads, they light up a thing, and you see on the whatever board the W lights up. But in this particular part where they lit up for Manifesto, I don't know if you caught this, but you see the names. Where the fuck are you? You see the names MF Doom, Cam, J Dilla?
No.
Yeah.
Where?
So let me put a pause here so I know where it is. Okay, so as soon as that switch goes off, the lights up those names, but it goes by really fast.
I didn't see that. Yeah. So fire,
it goes by really fast. So
these are the cats that have the message
from that area, from that borough, whatever, right? So they get connected. Manifesto is Inspector. He breaks loose from the pop, right? He breaks loose from the pop world. It holds Jizza's from the pop hold. Jizza, I don't know why, but Jizza's like in this episode, he's like mad sweaty. He's got sweat beads everywhere.
He's been on a journey. The shower
right, but the other people walking with him, they ain't got the sweats. This guy's literally like sweating, like you see it in the thing. Anyways, I have to write it out.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, Jesus. Okay. People.
I make some point outs later too.
People start coming out of hiding as soon as the lights come up because they were hiding from this boss who was the pop, right? Hiding.
I also like when they're on that radio when they're trying to reach out to people. They're rapping lyrics.
Which harkens to the Warriors.
Right.
Because you see that Cherie's lips, and she's saying like a poem, and that's how the Warriors was. It was on the lips and the mic.
The Warriors is the other one because that's also Burroughs.
Right.
I didn't even make that association. Right.
So Jizza is cautious. Everyone else is okay. So a bunch of girls roll up. A bunch of hotties roll up.
Yeah.
And then they like so one of the Jizza's in this journey, and he's got one of the brothers of Ghostface, right? He's like in a wheelchair. He's in a wheelchair.
Dog.
Right. And then, but he's dressed like a monk.
Yeah.
Like from the old school.
He's sort of like the seeker, the overseer kind of dude.
So and then Master is also dressed like some kind of monk type thing. And
Chief Arif.
And Jizz is more like a ninja dress, sort of. He's got like the black and everything.
The costumes in this shit is epic.
So blah blah blah. These girls, they're like. Those girls, the type of like the bad chicks from like Double Dragon who are always fighting the guys.
Like that's a good.
Like they got their they come in like 4x like the 4 whatever.
Yeah, the little Rough Rider.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, you want something to drink? And Jizz is all like mad cautious, but Darren, he's like, nah, I'm cool. I don't need no drink. But like they end up drinking whatever these girls give them, and they pass out, right? So and it wasn't just Jizzle wasn't there. He went on his own with whatever, but it was
right. It's Matsakilla and Deck who get kidnapped, right? They're the ones that are in prison.
So basically, Jizzle's cautious. Everybody else isn't. The girls offer them drinks. The guys are knocked out. The girls all got them all tied up, and they got toys because they got like butt plugs. They got the S&M. They got the chains. They got like the whips. They got all that shit, right? Darren is the only one who isn't knocked out. He didn't drink or whatever, right? And Sigma connected was in Medina. Jizza meets a bad guy, the basically bad guy. Asks why he's reconnected this way. I don't know what this is all. Okay, culture versus pop. Hip hop inspires revolt. That's when he's talking to the guy.
That's
like
we're about ready to meet the fatherless child, right?
Yeah.
So right before any of the kidnappings happen, Master Killer, when Jizza goes to see Master Killer,
they show ODB signed and locked up in chains, but he's like in like the girls are all.
Well, hold on.
Dude.
I just want to circle right back over to Master Killer real quick because he says something where he was talking about how the culture vultures are out here destroying the community by feeding the people Poptronics. I just wanted to say that because I thought that shit was like a really funny line to me because I'm like, word, man, Poptronics, fuck that. but yeah, ODB, he's like chained up, but he's happy, but he's prison.
Chained up, right? And you got all those girls, like
he's got all the girls
going
like,
yeah, and he's all giving him drug, like weed and all that, like all the shit that is doing ODB harm. And this is like
eating off the man's vices.
Now this is where I'm like, is this around the time where ODB's now with Rockefeller?
No, not yet. No, because this is still. ODB was fucking around.
Yeah,
he was
didn't go
problems.
to jail after jail. Right. So basically, he meets the main boss of the video game, some guy with a mask. I can't see his face, and he's the personification of Pop, right?
Yeah, he's the machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the machine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's Pop, but he's the people who are selling you Pop.
Yeah.
Right.
And so there's this one where that's when he says like, what's the matter with a raw uncut hip hop? And then the other guy's like, it inspires revolt because it inspires revolt. And this is, he's like, we have a plan. The way we do it is like they stay within the parameters, but they talk all this like nasty bullshit and stupid shit to get the people just, oh, look at this, the ass is fucking shaking, but you don't realize the messages of Wu and the content of the real hip hop, right? So this is the whole Wu versus Pop shit, right? So then they go into, he realizes that he doesn't need a weapon because his weapon is his tongue. And his tongue
that
is
part,
liquid soul.
So we get Duel of the Iron Mike, right?
Duel of the Iron Mike.
And right, and that's right. Like Old Dirty Bastard, he's chained up. He's like Duel of the Iron Mike, yo. But he starts rapping his verse, and that's when the Vulture Minister, he's all like he's the one. He is the liquid sword. And it's not a literal sword.
Yeah.
His sword is his tongue. It's so fucking like kung fu. It was so good the way they did that. And he's just rapping, and you see like these sonic booms flying out everywhere.
Yep.
It's so good.
It's like it's so beautiful, man.
The way they fucking did that shit.
And then you got Darren is all like,
what's up with the little flute?
That's the hip hop. I mean, the kung fu thing.
That's like
right?
kung fu shit,
Yeah.
but because it's Darren, right?
Yeah.
And he's like in his little wheelchair.
Yeah.
He's playing his little flute. It just, I don't know. That shit.
So, but Darren, where's Darren around this time? He's actually looking for RZA.
He's on his way to he's going up to Mount Wu to meet the Abbot to find the sound.
And Master,
he has the message.
Yeah, and Matt, this is while like,
it's so good how they did this.
All fighting or whatever. And Master and them come out of being held in this prison.
And now they're on the quest.
Right. Which and then
two new members join your party.
Right. So this whole thing is going down, and Darren, Duel of Mike, they gotta go up to Wu Mountain to see RZA.
That's his thing.
And it starts raining bullet shells.
Yo, so it's literally visibly raining bullets, and he's out in the park. He's out there like in the middle of the streets. There's obviously a representation.
It's such a and that's why I love Jizza, man. Like I said, ODB. So my guys is RZA, Jizza, Meth, and ODB. I mean, everybody. I like Ray. I like everybody else, but those are my top guys.
Dude, I love all of them, man.
I love all of them, but those are my top guys.
But yo, Jizza's
fucking.
And this album in particular is something special.
This is, I listen to this album more than I listen to any other album.
I think I would say I do the same.
Yeah, especially
like not group solo. I think I listen to Liquid Swords more.
Yeah.
than any of the other albums.
Especially the
that Killer Hill shit's so good,
Killer
man.
Hill, man.
Labels is so fucking good, which
Yeah.
we're gonna get here in a
Bible.
minute. Does it Bible with
Bible.
which speaking of, when after this Rain and Bullet shit happens, so what we get is we get this turf war, right? And it's Killer Priest
Yeah.
from Sons of Man, who's portrayed by Freddie Gibbs, by the way.
Yeah.
But like Killer Priest, so it's Priest and the Sons, like right. But then it's Ninth Prince, who's from Killer Army, and they start like talking about having this record deal with the Culture Vultures, and like Priest is like, yo, but they make sure that we eat good. Like,
so I'm in the same spot. Let me
go.
So GZA gets confronted by gangs. The gangs rep the pop. Okay, so again, this is all about.
They don't rep the pop. They
No.
They represent the victims of pop.
Well, no,
because they want to get signed.
No, I think it's pop because what was selling? It was selling just killing other black people or other minorities. That's what always is sold, and that's the main pop thing.
The Raining and Bullets, you think is that symbology?
Yeah,
well, as long as we keep the people down, they keep hurting each other and they hurt themselves, and that's great.
Yeah, so that's where the pop. Those are like the henchmen for
agents of
agents
of chaos,
agents of pop, right? So confronted with gangs, they rep pop, I put they rep pop rappers. That's what I put. Ray's mom dies.
Yeah, so hold on. We before we get to the gold joint, like before we get there, man, there's a battle that pops off.
Yeah. So what happens?
Jizz is battling everybody using the words from labels.
Yeah, and what happens is
so
at the
fucking
end,
crazy.
At the end, they're all like on the ground, like both gangs are all like hurt and they're on the ground.
They're wounded.
Yeah, and then they like GZA and then Master and they just start picking up the guns and put it in like a crate, and they're like, "Here's your fucking guns, like do what you will, but just." And then they talk about like what the elements of hip hop, the beauty of hip hop.
They're 100% planting the seeds. For Sons of Man and Killer Army because they're like, you can. Yeah, we're gonna need affiliates.
Yeah.
We're gonna need people.
Yeah, but like.
It's the way they did that shit.
But then they look at the guns, they're like, then they like gave each other a dab. So for me, it's like more of like, even though Wu was talking what they were talking, right? Like, but as an entity, I see Wu as a positive thing for the streets. It's taking so many kids off the streets to make them write lyrics. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like I would rather you kill heads on wax than
that's how it always should be
in real life, And then at the time, this was I think around the time when the beef between East and West started happening, because it's right after Biggie.
Yep.
And then you have all these killings and all these deaths and all these for no reason, because these record labels wanted to fucking make money, right? So.
We see the Vulture Tower, right?
But see, that's why I'm like Diddy. Right, because Diddy was pop, and Diddy, from my opinion, made millions off of Biggie's death. And there you go. That's a very symbolic thing to me.
I like the fact that the Vulture Tower, like straight up, looks like Stark Tower. Like you know what I mean? Like when you see it, you're like, this is the Avengers Tower right here, right?
So Ray's mom, and she ends up dying. Ray won't flip the switch. Meth gets down on shadow boxing.
He gets the yellow tape. He visits Meth with the yellow tape. He hands him the yellow tape, right?
And he rips it.
And Master Killer visits Ghostface with the rhyme book. And Darren's taking his little flute on his way up to the mountains to find the abbot. GZA visits Raekwon.
Well, why is RZA at the mountain? Because he's looking for a new sound.
He's on the quest for the new sound. When we get to the ending, hold on. But when we get to the ending for that, like the way
I'll let you do your thing.
That shit's so exciting.
But the thing is, it's like because remember I was saying that about the deadlines and how they needed another Wu album.
Yeah.
And RZA was stuck. He was stuck like Chuck. He didn't know what to do, how to come up with this new album. He didn't have a sound. He ended up buying a little Japanese guitar,
that little guitar thing.
Yeah, and he was like,
Do we see that in the next episode?
I think you see that at the very beginning of this episode, if I'm correct, because that's
Maybe.
because at the very end he's like, wait a second, I got it.
Yeah, I remember that. So when in the allegorical world, when we're now passing the message to everybody, right? And Ray activates. So when he starts talking about Raekwon, can we just say that he's sitting there on that gold throne
Yeah,
with the gold crown?
Yeah.
He's got it all because he
Yeah.
put out the last
and
big.
he's like, I don't
record.
need to do nothing. I'm good with this.
Look at this, but his
Yeah.
mom's passed, right?
Uh,
And like, so he's also, and so they convey like he's not going to be on this album. He ends up coming in.
yeah.
So he activates that signal while You God is transmitting the very last broadcast, and You God is rapping his part in
Yeah.
investigative reports.
Yeah, investigative. Yeah, man.
And so when that happens, the call is actually answered from the rest of the places,
Mhm.
right? The different people.
So they finally make the uniting.
Meth comes in and he answers with Shadowbox, and he does his verse from Shadowbox, and Darren reaches the Abbott. He delivers the code.
Mm-hmm.
CEFA. We don't know what that means yet.
No.
We don't know. We know what that means.
Yeah.
But the note begins. Hold on. No, I don't want to say that yet.
Well, you do finish it off because I just got the word for word. You got a whole philosophy.
Yeah. So the notes, the CEFA, those are the first four notes that begin the fourth chamber. I said fifth chamber earlier. I misspoke. The fourth chamber. RZA unleashes the beat, and when he unleashes the beat, this is so fucking fly. So Ghostface answers the call.
Yeah.
And he spits his verse from fourth chamber.
Yep.
RZA comes in. He finally gets off the mountain, and he's in the battle.
Yep.
He answers the call with his verse from fourth chamber.
And then you see the video, basically.
And I think it was like right, and we get RZA confronts Cyrus at the Vulture Tower, and he clashes with actual swords. And when you see him, they go, ah!
At the very end, that's like
It's a masterpiece.
It's like the exact same like shot at the album cover.
It's the cover.
It's the album cover. He even got like the W on his forehead.
Like the way they did that shit.
Yeah,
I'm like, shit, son. I didn't expect them to fade
Me
out.
neither. Even though look, it's crazy.
It was so
crazy
good.
because we already seen it. You're like,
I know.
I wasn't expecting
I
it.
still, I don't know. There's
But
so
I
much
feel
going
you.
on in
I
that
feel
moment.
you. I mean, you
I'm
totally
so tied
forgot.
up to them rapping
Totally forgot.
because they're doing all the
That
rapping
was a
shit.
great scene.
And that was like hands down the highlight of the whole
That was a
joint.
great scene.
And when it pulls out, it's like back in the studio, Jizza and RZA are chopping up how Liquid Swords is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's going to attract a whole new breed of fans to the Wu. Jizza's album breaks billboards. RZA's session plans are cut short when realizes everyone is busy doing their own things, right? He's going to have like a session. And he starts getting all the voicemails about how everyone's got shit going on. You hear Jimmy Ruffin's What Becomes of the Brokenhearted?
What becomes of the
Brokenhearted. Yo, we hear that in the credits. Then we get this memorandum from film electrician Chris Dolan, who passed away suddenly, and the art director Matteo De Cosmo, who passed away from COVID.
Yeah.
And that's how, like, God, the way they fucking did it.
It's a whole the whole sequence. This is why it's one of my favorites, but I gotta give it the ODB just because it takes me back to the my kid childhood.
No, I'm with you, man. I mean,
Foxy
I
Brown
love what they did with it.
Yeah.
I do. And so you know what's funny is because you're talking about your childhood with the blaxploitation shit. So I feel like in my younger teens, I was so heavy into all those gangster flicks.
Yeah.
All those mob movies.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm saying
all
it's
those
not
joints.
me, but like,
I don't know, criminology just taps in. And I didn't really watch a lot of the kung fu shit. I mean, the post-apocalyptic stuff, yeah. And I like it a lot more now. I mean, you just heard you heard the enthusiasm right there because that shit was like exciting. You know, and when it gets to the ending, Riz is like, fuck. He's kind of stuck like Chuck. And we get into what's probably the best episode.
Yeah.
It's all based on a true story.
Yep.
After the Smoke is Clear. Great record. In the penultimate episode of the series, Ghostface reflects on the sacrifices of his past while dealing with the bittersweet outcome of his artistic success. Meanwhile, RZA ventures to take a different approach for the Clan's next album. I wrote probably my favorite episode of the season. So much growth, development, change, and the wild scenes with Ghost and Delphonics.
Oh yeah.
Wild scene.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. So what do you got, man? You got You got an opus over there.
Okay. So RZA's looking for David Adley's Holy Thursday.
Yeah, Holy Thursday.
Right. And he's back to LA.
That clerk is like, hey man, are you gonna sample that?
Yeah,
Chris is like,
yeah.
he just tips out like he like runs away from that guy.
Everybody's back for Infinite's B-Day. Ghost goes back to NY.
He goes back to the old neighborhood.
Yeah, Wu meets with RZA. They want to know when the next Wu album, but he first got to finish Ghosts, right? So Divine sees bruises on his mom's arms. Everybody's together now. The whole family, you know, they came back for Divine's birthday or whatever.
Some shit's popping off.
So the mom comes back, I think with RZA, and yeah, he sees that she got bruises on the arms, right? And Divine and RZA just go hard on this, right? But anyways, let me get to that. Mama Wu brought a bunch of luggage with her, which was, why are you bringing so much luggage? Right?
For a visit.
Right, for a little visit with her. Cherie asked what she's never know, blah, blah, blah. RZA music at the music equipment store, and that's when he's looking at that slide guitar or whatever, right? Delphonics on Ghost album, and Wu was store window, Macy's black car following. Yeah.
Power surprises Ray by like rolling up the Macy's, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Yo, Macy's, yeah. Oh shit, that's us, son."
Yeah.
Like that shit was super hot. And right, Ghost goes back to the old neighborhood.
He's being followed by a black
There's
car.
like this black car following him around, man. He's like all paranoid and shit.
So the reason, the reason he goes back with Ray to the store is because now he has an offer to sell the store.
That's right. Powers has been offered to buy the brand. Like a lot of money, live off it, right?
But without any control.
Yeah, he gets paid the one time and it'll be a big payout.
Yeah, but that's it.
Whatever happens to Wu after that.
No control. So that's why
it's a big. What would you do? You know.
So that's why in Power he doesn't know what to do.
That's why he talked to Ray about it, right?
And he didn't really talk to him much. It was more of like a nostalgia thing. He's like, man, I might be looking at this like this might be the last time we see this, man, with like our ownership of this type shit, right? So then we have Ghost has fucking Delphonics, man.
So hold on. So first it starts with like Ghost like talking to Infinite. He's like holding Infinite.
I love Delphonics, man. Delphonics made me like it took me through a lot of shit.
He brings it up again to RZA, and he wants to like work with him. And finally, they work it out. Delphonics is gonna do a record with Ghostface,
which is amazing.
It's amazing moment. So Ghostface is driving around, and they're just chopping it up. Delphonics is like singing like as the smoke clears.
Ghost has to pick up Delphonics.
Yeah, and bring him to the studio.
Right, and he sees the black car again.
But he sees the black car. But while they're driving, we get the special moment where the Delphonics are singing as the smoke clears. It's fucking cool as shit. Yeah. Fucking cool as shit. As the smoke clears. I can't hit that pitch for my life. All praise Delphonics. But like, so like they're riding around and Ghost sees that cat, the car again, and he's paranoid. So he like pulls out the joint. With Delphonics in the car.
That's crazy. And of course Delphonics gets shook.
And so they're like basically like fly their asses to the studio, and one of the dudes is like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and you can see it in their face. They don't want to be there.
They are, like you said, they shook. Yeah. Like they look scared.
Like at one point, like we
gotta go. We just need to leave. And you're like, you want to say that to him?
Yeah.
And Ghostface in there rapping all crazy. But he's like, y'all coming in here doing your shit?
But then he looks at their faces and he kind of stops rapping. He's like, what's
He realizes that he's got him shit.
Yeah, so that was
like what a moment.
An encounter, if you want to say it, right?
And if you look up Ghostface Drink Champs, shout out to Drink Champs, but Ghost tells this story, and it's a wild fucking story, man.
I didn't know. I have to watch it.
See the show. There's parts where it's like, did that really fucking happen? Because some of the rappers, some of the cats from Wu. In interviews I've heard on like Ray on Breakfast Club, he's like, "Yo, this shit's a movie. It's a movie."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've heard that.
Don't believe everything. Right. Like some of the stuff's exaggerated, some of the
Mhm.
stuff's blurred together, but like this actually happened.
Yeah.
And
really.
Delphonics were shook.
Damn.
They were actually shook, but they went and they recorded a record.
Mhm.
And Ghost still feels like crazy regret for that.
Okay, so now because of this crazy regret and like he starts kind of getting into his feelings and stuff starts happening, right? That's something that to keep in mind because something comes out of that. But at the same time, Vine. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Mama Wu. She ends up showing her bruises to the whole fam.
Yeah, we're gonna jump over that because basically at first,
yeah, RZA and Vine,
first like for Riz is completely distracted
They're about to drop
because Riz is trying to find the sound.
Yeah.
And he finally locates this Axelrod album that he's looking for.
And it's not even the sound.
And he's like, it took forever. He had like all these people running around.
Yeah.
Finally get the right turn on the record.
Yeah.
Man, that ain't it.
Yeah.
Ain't that some shit? Ain't
Yeah.
that some shit? So that's not the new sound. But so then Divine and walks in on that. And he's like, yo, man, Moms is getting bruised
And
up.
RZA,
I think Jerome's putting hands on him.
And both of them really
He's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we can't do the street shit. He's
Yeah,
like, no, I'm going with you.
Yeah. And
We're gonna have a chat.
Yeah, but they got the guns or
But
whatever.
they went up there to have a chat.
Yeah. So
But moms
being moms, they got that intuition that she already knew something was up. And
the jewel she dropped.
She even said, she was like, I know you guys want to, because they were eating breakfast, and then she shows the bruises, and they're all like, yo, this, that, but like, she's like, no. If you want to clean spills, clean this table. And it's like that. If you want to clean spills, clean.
I'm here
table.
because I left him.
Yeah.
I handled this.
Yeah. Don't.
I've already handled this.
Don't go back. And they were literally about to go, but then when she said that, it was done. They were like,
the way she did that was some Cosby shit.
Yeah, Cosby shit like a motherfucker, man.
Mama Cosby shit, dog. She crushes this scene.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, after hearing what she had to say, I legit was like thinking about moments in my life where I was like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, mom's just, if she just dropped the jewel on it.
Right, it is what it is, man.
Yo.
So Ghost and his girl are always fighting.
Yeah, you get into a mad fight about that shootout, though.
She's like, why you gotta go do this type of shit? You got a kid, you got making money, you scared the Delphonics and all that shit, right? So they get this gigantic, and then he's on his feelings, this and that, and then he ends up, you hear All That I Got Is You earlier.
Fuck yeah.
You hear the music of All That I Got Is You, the beat, and you hear for a second, and you hear, and it's like earlier episodes, not this episode, earlier episodes. I want to say even last season or something like that.
Word. Like when back in Ohio.
Yeah.
Remember back in Ohio?
Yeah,
He's like, can you play that again for me?
That Jackson 5 sound.
Yeah.
Right. So then he RZA plays the beat and he starts going at it, and then it's because of the feelings, because of the emotions, because of his girl, because of his family. He realizes this is what matters the most, right?
Yeah.
Infinite and his wife and his, this is what matters the most, not the shooting, not this, that. So he writes the masterpiece.
Yeah, the most beautiful song in hip hop.
In history.
Probably the saddest song in fucking hip hop.
That I'm telling you. How can you not like RZA? How can you not like The Wu? How can you not like Ghost? How can you not like?
And you in the show they give you this emotional push with this because we move back to Powers with Ray again.
Yeah.
And you got this emotional music and this emotional scene that just happened, and they follow it with a 1-2 punch because Ray. He drops the money. He's like, this stays with us.
So Power is like, I don't know what to do. And Ray's like, yo, like, I made some money, man. How much you need? And he's like, yo, it's a lot. And he comes in with that money. Prior to this, in the last episode, I want to say it was you, God, that was gonna give Ray some money Power some money to keep his business
for like everybody like you invest. He doesn't he? Because he's like
at the very end, because they have that fight of the money, who gets more money, and you guys like, man, I ain't even gonna take the fuck. I don't want this, and so no money is given. But at the very end of the episode, you see, does give Vine the money to keep the business going, and then the same thing
invested in us.
Yeah, and then Ray says the same thing. So then in the car, he's like, look, man, I made some money. I can put some money down, man. He's like, man, I love that shit, but you don't got to. He's like, man, you put down for us, man.
And this should stay with us.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that for us, man. So he puts down his money, and Vine keeps the woolwear under his name. Blah blah blah. Always fight me. Blah blah blah. So
the ending of the episode.
Yeah, RZA decides. RZA buys his mom's a house.
That shit was huge
Vine
too.
and
God,
RZA,
yeah, man, this one.
Yeah,
This one has all.
It's a beautiful thing. This episode.
This episode's my joint.
Yeah,
man.
it's so
so much full circle shit happening.
So much family shit too. So much wholesome family shit.
Again, all I got is you. Like, come on, dog.
So always make up RZA bye. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, RZA's in the studio. He's trying to figure out the junk. She's like, playing this beat.
What sample am I going to use? What sample? And then he goes and reaches for the little Japanese guitar.
And it's like he's spends a good minute. He's like trying to figure out the sound, playing different notes, whatever, doing the all that shit, and then all of a sudden you hear something, and you're like, damn.
The way they fucking flip that, and he gets all hype and he calls Ghost and he's like, yo, listen to this shit. And Ghost is like, yo, this shit is ill, son. Where'd you get that sample? He's like, nah, man. Nah, we're using instruments this time.
We're gonna go live.
We're doing live shit. And he was like, word. And so Ghost hears this. No one else hears this, right?
Yeah.
Which is a very key point.
Yeah.
Following up to the next episode, because we start hearing what becomes dun 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 dun, right? So we get Triumph that's coming, right? Boom. RZA pushes his musicianship
Wait, you're
to
going
new
into
heights.
the the next.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
Keep going. I've got to use the bathroom.
And just like that, y'all, Red is dead, y'all. Peace out, dog. He out. Listen, last episode of the season, we have Triumph. RZA pushes his musicianship to new heights as he creates Wu-Tang Forever with a studio orchestra, but the recording process strains to Clan as tensions boil over during their biggest tour yet. All right. We do have a couple of Easter eggs. During a convo between RZA and Rifkin, Steve mentions greatness and how greatness is forever. And then answers a phone call from Prodigy. All right.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta get this call from Prodigy. You mind?
So we get the Wu-Tang Forever. We get the Prodigy reference. RZA shows a list of potential Wu album names, and when we see that list, he's crossing out. I saw 8 diagrams in there.
8 diagrams. I saw that too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's some good references down there. He ends up using it down the road. I like that.
So are you
every chapter in the episode, because this is one of those chapter episodes. Each one's written in Italian.
Yeah.
Because this is the Italian orchestra, right? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. The overture.
Every chapter of this episode.
Yeah, we got the overture.
So, using instruments, RZA hires musicians to play, but he doesn't know what he wants yet. The rest of Wu ain't feeling it. Meth came through, and now Ghost and Ray feel it. Because Method Man, like always, is the first one.
Because I can rap to this shit.
Now, this is one thing that we got to talk about. This is the last album in their contract. Okay? So
right, because it's double LP and it covers everything.
This is why they want to do the biggest fucking thing possible, the biggest record payoff, I guess you could say. $4 million.
The most expensive music video in the world at the time.
And to be honest, I do not think prior to this there was a double album in hip hop.
I because this was a big deal that it was a double LP.
Cypress had a double album, but that came later.
The closest to this moment, and I'd have to look it up, is Tupac's All Eyes on Me, and Biggie's Life After Death. Those these and Forever. This was the era of the double album.
Life After Death wasn't an album, the double album, was it?
Yeah. Ready to Die.
Oh, you're right.
Life After Death was a double. There was Life and Death.
Yeah.
Tupac's All Eyes on Me had 1 and 2.
It was
double LP. And these all came out in that time frame. So it's which one came first?
I don't know, but I feel like the way that they filmed the Wu, I feel like Wu came out first, and if they didn't, fuck.
They're like, we're gonna do a double album.
Wu's the best. So they were like, this is it, boys. This is we're gonna go hard. We're gonna do our thing, and it's gonna be the biggest payout in hip hop history for an album. And everybody's about it. Everybody's like, yeah, and that's why what's Rifkin? Rifkin. He's like, this will be greatness, right? This is gonna be the whole thing, right?
It's gonna be forever. And Rich is like, let me piggyback that.
So like if you remember the very first for episode, I want to say Method Man was the first one to be like, all right, fuck it. And he starts writing to the lyrics. And because RZA was like, remember, you're the first, and you're the first on the last album, and the first on the first album, or something like that. But anyways, so Method Man all of a sudden feels it, and then everybody else starts feeling it, right? The beats, the
All Eyes on Me first, then Biggie, then Forever.
Blasphemy. So ain't feeling it, and You God is having money problems. Again, money is a big thing.
Let me catch up with you.
That always just gets in there. And so him and Power end up getting in a fight, and that's what I was alluding to. This is why, I got mixed up here, guys. But
the fight between You God and Power. Yeah, so it's Young now.
Yeah, and he bites Power.
Yeah. I remember him being like, "The motherfucker bit me,"
and he got like a Band-Aid on his cheek.
That's right. RZA walked up in the joint and like because Powers and Divine were already talking their money shit.
Nice money problems.
And
right?
he was like, "We want $2 million. We're gonna ask him for $2 million." And RZA just popped into that bitch and was like, "I want $4 million."
Yeah.
That was fucking hardcore, man. But yeah, then there was this fight between You God and Power.
Yep. So making number one in the world, Inspector has the best verse. Even RZA admits it. Ray and RZA ain't feeling each other because of the prior beef that they had with
the money,
right?
The money and this live music shit. No, you didn't come and talk to us. You didn't talk to anybody.
But then again, what did RZA say at the very beginning? Give me 5 years. This is the last album,
and all I want is control.
Yeah. So
that's one of the things
they all agreed with it. So Inspector best verse. RZA admits it. Ray RZA ain't feeling each other. Yet the tour is having problems. Now, this tour is different than the rest of the other tours. This tour is a very important tour because they're going, I think, worldwide. I think at this point,
it's a national tour.
National, yeah.
But it's massive because it's with Rage Against the Machine.
And Rage Against the Machine at the time was massive. I mean, shit.
It doesn't matter what kind of music you listen to. People fucked with Rage.
Yeah. Hip hop fucked with Rage. Rock, everybody.
I mean, anybody that liked music.
Yeah.
If you were alive around our time.
I'll be honest with you.
I don't know anybody that doesn't like Rage Against the Machine.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. Ask Kalashnikov Red. I feel like the quintessential person that should feature is fucking Zach.
I mean, that'd be amazing.
And I tried. So he's so hard to find.
Yeah.
There's no Instagram. There's no nothing.
Yeah, but you don't want to be a part of the machine.
No. But the thing is, he had one picture that he put out on it's somebody else's Instagram, and he's with the protesters and all that. I'm like, yeah, it's my Zach, man. He's still doing his thing. But I would love if anybody's got the contact for contacting, because I know he's making music with Heads. I see it, and I'm like, yo, he's got to do something with me. So Rage is big time.
And at the same time, what this is gonna do for Wu
is putting them across the threshold of just hip hop.
I mean,
the Run DMC
that fan base is going to explode. And a lot of Wu didn't want.
They weren't feeling it.
They hated people like me.
Yeah, they didn't. There were all these white boys and shit, But
Raekwon don't fuck with me.
No.
It's all right, Ray. I fuck with you.
So Wu, in getting the shit together after making it on top, they're on top, and everybody's just beefing, and ODB's fucking wherever the fuck he's at.
Oh, during the concert.
And so they don't know where he's at, but he's in the concert the whole time.
He's been there. He's been following them.
Just smoking with the white boys.
He also drops that jewel that Ray needed to hear though.
Yeah.
Because he's
these white boys.
He's don't sleep on these white boys.
Yeah.
These guys know our shit.
Mm-hmm. No, and they do.
And he's like, Ray, that gets Ray second guessing, man.
Yeah.
Hold on. So we needed to drop that Divine. He repays Power for that investment to
Yeah.
form WooWare.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and so he hits him back with 75,000
Mhm.
and fucking large, man.
Yeah, that at that time, like
That was large.
yeah.
How about that was a real dope ass thing? Because you could have just been like, coattailing him. Powers is the one that helped build this empire.
Yep.
Because he was the streets guy with the money.
With the mind, man. Man loves power.
Divine had the managerial whatever,
but
like
he had the numbers, man.
And then RZA is thinking about Forever. We did that Method Man on the green screen. What about the music video? So like there's the whole like joint where they're doing the Triumph video.
Yeah.
And they ask about like what the effects would look like.
Like man, I want to be like on a motorcycle with fire.
Like he's on the motorcycle with the green screen. He's like, y'all gonna have me driving around through the city and shit, right? And he's like, dude, I want you to set the whole joint. I want fire all around me, like Johnny Blaze, right? Like I thought that shit was so fucking like Johnny Blaze and shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
and you got RZA, like he was like the wings don't fit. And
the wings.
The wings don't fit. Like there's something wrong with the wings.
The wings.
But yeah, Wu-Tang Forever releases #1 worldwide. You got pays back Powers for the WooWare investment.
Yeah.
You were talking about.
Yeah.
We get at the club. RZA meets with the concert promoters for the gigantic arena filled tour with Rage Against the Machine. That's where all of that happens. It's during their celebration shit.
So the main manager that Vine had fought to get them on that tour, like the main manager.
I forgot the dude's name.
Yeah, he was like, "Listen, man, like ODB's everybody. You guys are late. You guys are Rage Against the Machine. My guys have to do more songs because we don't know exactly when you're gonna come on because half your group is in here, the other half is at home, the other half is wherever." And Vine's like, please just give me one
more show. Like, let me get them here.
This is the last show
for Wu anyway.
For Wu under the contract as Wu.
Which also happens to be the last day of RZA's contract.
At 12 o'clock that night.
That pumpkin.
That's fun.
It's the end. Cinderella gone.
It's done.
Yo, but like what I love about how they do that scene is how like the promoter guy talking to Divine is like, this is gonna be the greatest tour ever, and then it literally like just like I don't even think there's a cut. We just are boom at the massive concert, and you hear the dude just screaming at Divine and RZA, talking about I have never seen so many problems at the beginning of a tour in 20 years plus career. Like he's like, you got 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
That's how this episode is mapped out. This is Divine trying to get to the birthday party. We got 90 minutes to get everyone on stage, or you're all off this tour, right? Like it's the last day of the contract.
So
Ray's finding ODB, like no one can find him.
At this same time, he's also there's a girl there, and this girl is the manager of Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, he sits down with her.
No. She's there with the whole thing too. At the very with this whole beat.
Oh, where all the drama. You're right.
You don't know who this girl is.
Yeah.
Right? But she's actually the manager of Rage Against the Machine. So, but then we find out that ODB has been at the show, getting high and with the white boys.
He's been following.
Yeah, has been following the tour.
Like he's just a crowd guy.
Cherie gets pregnant. And Ghost is with Cherie. So Ghost isn't really at the tour.
But he's staying in his hotel.
Yeah, he's staying at the hotel.
And Raekwon comes like these all these ego people. They're like, I'm at this point
alpha divas, man.
And at this point, they're like alpha divas.
Yep, alpha.
Forever.
Yeah.
They all have solo shit.
Yeah.
So it's like particularly Ray, Ghost, like ODB, Meth, like particularly them. They're like off on their own world.
Yeah, and Ghost doesn't even want to go to the show.
Like he's just chilling in a hotel room. Finds out that the girl pregnant,
and they're about to start to play the last song together as Wu's like. So Wu gets kicked off the tour.
Well, hold on. Right before that happens, like while Riz is trying to wrangle and Divine, everyone's trying to wrangle up everybody, and like half of them are here, half of them are there, whatever. Like Riz sits down with that manager.
Yeah, no, I think this is later. I think this is almost prior to the end.
Well, no, because he's given up now.
No. He leaves.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
like he goes.
Yeah, but we're not.
So, that little speech? No, we're not there yet.
No. So I'll get to that.
Oh, maybe it did happen. You're right. No, because look, Riz is down on this bench.
Why? Why does he?
Because he's like over it. Like
so
Midnight's about to strike.
Let me get to that point, right? So Ghost doesn't want to show up to the show. Wu gets kicked off the tour. RZA gets disappointed, and he's like, "I love you guys."
No, so this speech hasn't happened yet.
This is very all right. Go on then.
All I'm saying is, right before this deadline, like it's about to happen. Like
Mhm.
he's about to lose the tour. Like it's about to happen. He's sitting down, stressed out, and the one lady is like, "Look, by the end of the night, your contract's up, right?"
Mhm.
Like, and she says to him, "She's like, that means you
No.
can start focusing." Are you positive?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Because by the time the whole quitting thing happens,
No. Let me just.
ODB jumps on the stage and we already got that
Hold
shit.
on. Let me just get to this real quick.
I'm gonna let you go.
I may be wrong, but who knows?
You got this shit backwards, bro.
Right. Ghost doesn't want to go to the show. Wu gets kicked off the tour. RZA said his goodbyes. He's done. ODB rushes into the stage at the very end. Y'all thought you weren't gonna see me?
Yep.
ODB. They play. Their
It's
show
yours.
they rap. Okay, so because they can get kicked off the tour, the manager goes "Tush," and turns off the power. You guys still come. Now you expect that.
It's dead.
Yeah, and a bomb atomically or Socrates' philosophy,
And just has like the crowd going.
but he's just rapping.
Yeah, just rapping.
Not
So,
even
like,
on mic.
the only people who can hear him are the people at the front.
Not even on mic, but everybody.
Is rapping along with him.
Everybody. It's just such a beautiful
It
thing.
is a powerful moment.
So, although you want to see ODB play their show at the blah blah a cappella, and it's a beautiful thing. The fans loved it. They finished the tour having Thanksgiving at Mama's. Okay, so you're right. Going back, RZA comes out. He sees the girl. He sits down at the bench after he says his goodbyes. He's listening to the heads getting onto the stage, rapping, because eventually they all decide to start rapping, but he's out. He's out. So he's at this bench. The girl sits there. They do a little pleasantries or whatever. And she says to him, "Well, your contract's over. You ever think about maybe going on your own?" Well, I was thinking, I had a project called Bobby Digital.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it. Call me.
But she's talking about. He was like, "Listen, man, what can you do for me? I just did $4 million on this one to make this to cut a deal on this album." And she was like, "Yeah, that's hip hop numbers. I can give you rock numbers, and I can get you $6 million easy."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Listen, I'll hear it." Right. I thought that shit was so G. But then, once the deadline and Wu gets kicked off, like, they're not even allowed to perform that night. Like, that's when RZA gives that speech. He's like, "I love you guys. Like, you're like my brothers." And, like, the way he hits it, it's like, it's a deep speech.
It's sad. It breaks your heart.
And it's just the way he handles that. Like, he's like, and with that,
I'm out.
I quit.
Yeah.
Like he's
but then at the very end,
and ODB's like, "Fuck that noise.
You won't see me." And so you see them one by one getting onto the stage,
which is super cool.
And then
perform "It's Yours."
At the very end, RZA comes out and
before that though, Master Killa for "It's Yours," Master Killa is the one that's rapping RZA's verse.
Yeah.
Because I remember him. Because even Master Killa, he's like, "You couldn't punch your way out of the," and I immediately, because that's like one of my favorite verses from RZA. He's like, "You can't punch your way out of a wet paper bag with scissors in their hands."
Yeah.
It's the RZA, but he goes, "It's the killer."
Uh-huh.
And I thought that shit was mad. I was like, I wonder how many times, like, throughout the history of tours, did that have to happen, right? Dude ain't gonna be there, but that's like the spot, you know. And I'm not on this song, so I'm just gonna fill the void. Like, I wonder how many times that happens.
It's funny because, like,
but then, yeah. Wait, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say because me and my boy RZA and my boy and me, we have a song. But like we couldn't go the night that he performed. RZA performed.
Oh yeah, he performed everybody.
I was like,
yo, that shit was hot, dude.
Yeah, but
shout out to RZA, man. We love it.
What you gotta do, man.
So then at the ending, like they get on stage and we get reunited. And that's when RZA pops up.
Yeah.
He pops up for Reunited. He does his verse on that, and then they get past the curfew. As the shows, they keep it going with Triumph. Yeah. That's when Deck is like doing Bomb Atomically.
Because they shut it off.
Concert promoter pulls the Wu off the tour, mic plugs, Deck just screaming, rest of Wu, and then the crowd, and then we skip over to Wu-Tang Forever. And that's the Thanksgiving, this beautiful, beautiful closer, right? Yeah, they meet up for Thanksgiving at the Wu Mansion. Linda's asking the crew to take a family picture. And leaves us with this moving speech, brothers forever,
It's
real
like
beautiful.
you guys may have your fights or whatever, but when you guys come together, it's something magical happens, and it was a nice ending because you see all of them like with the fam, like they are the fam. They
You
are.
guys need to smile. You know, this is not going out
It's
on
like
the
stop posing, stop posing, right?
And so, and some of them smile, but most of them are just like,
still like you know.
nah, I changed it.
But it's a beautiful ending because you it all comes. This is the thing about the show. Everything comes together. You see, like
all in together.
And like RZA was out here, Method Man was out there. Every Ghost and Ray hated each other. Vine and Power hated. ODB was wherever the fuck he was. But at the end, man, Inspector was in the hallways. You know, at the end, everything just fucking comes to this point where you see all of them together and as a family, not as rappers, not as homies, but as a family.
As a family.
Yeah, and they take those pictures and
they got the Christmas presents and shit. Like, I'm not gonna see you until after the
and it's so hard for me and us as the viewers to imagine ODB and Method Man and all these hard ass motherfuckers being like, "Yo, I love you, man."
Yeah, just having a little Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
And I also love that while this is all like closing out, we get actual footage. From Wu, from all their shows. But in the aftermath of their legacy, right? Like the show ends also like after that
show with the real ads.
With the actual actors, right? And they all come together and they start rapping Protect Your Neck. In full form. And it's so great. And when Jizza ends his closing line, like the camera switches over and RZA's with them watching them perform this. And you see the crew like, dude, I thought that shit was so fucking cool.
It really, I mean, that was a great ending.
And it's the end, you know?
That's it. And it's so, my thoughts on this, I think it was an overall great show. As you guys already know, I think overall it was a needed show because Wu had such a worldwide impact that, I mean, Triumph is just Triumph, man. They triumphed over everybody.
Wu-Tang is forever.
Wu-Tang's for the kids, man. Wu-Tang forever. And like the thing is, it's like I think I've told you this story, but I'll relay it to the ones that are new watching this. I'll be short because we're already at 2:25.
Yeah. This is the longest episode we've ever done.
No, 3 is the longest.
Okay, we're on our way. We're almost there then.
But quick antidote. I was in South America, and I had I had these sweatpants, right? That had like the cargo, like baggy sweatpants, right? Like New York style and all that shit. And I remember I'm like in some market or some store or whatever, and I see this guy has this sweater with the Wu. And I'm like, oh man, because at the time I never had a Wu shirt, any Wu wear or anything. And I loved Wu, but I never really went and bought anything like that. But I was like, oh man, and I've never seen that sweater ever, right? So I'm like, yo, let me borrow that sweater, man. And he's like, let me borrow those pants. So we did the switch, and it wasn't even borrow. It was just like, let me have it. We did the switch. I was like, man, I was so happy and this and that. I had my Wu sweater nobody else in the world has because I'd never seen this Wu sweater ever. And I went to the mountains in the Andes.
There's like a picture of you, right?
Yeah, there's a picture of me holding like some ice from the Andes, but I got the Wu sweater, right? And it's like a blue sweater. It had it wasn't like that. It wasn't like a big Wu thing. It was like a little thing, but it was like
right here, like a Superman.
Yeah. So I was like, oh man, like I was so happy and this and that. Then the next day, it's like, yo, I want that sweater back. I was like, I want those pants back. Fine. It is what it is. But my point being is that we're in South America in the fucking Andes mountains. And I'm like, I see somebody rocking Wu. And you don't know how happy that made me. Because like coming from here and growing up with Wu and growing up with all these heads and seeing it outside of the United States, to somebody that listened to Wu and knew what Wu was, man, that to me was just, the epitome of like, we made it. And I say we because, Wu is like all of us, man. Wu's for everybody.
In the documentary, when RZA starts breaking down the W and what each finger represents, dude, like it's designed
Yeah.
to be for everybody.
Yeah, that's why.
And when
it's
you
so
go to the
perfect.
concerts,
Yeah. We've been there, man. All of us, man.
I mean, you do one of these, like you just do a quick, and you look around, you're like
thousands and thousands of people.
every
man.
walk of life.
Every white, black, small, fat, brown,
the soccer mom,
tall,
the fucking bum on the street, the scary ass fucking people, the little kids. Like it's literally like, I mean, I can't describe it. It's a fucking like smorgasbord of humanity.
If you want to belong,
coming out to see Wu.
If you want to belong to any group, man, belong to the Wu group. For reals. Like, mad props to the Wu, man. I will always love the Wu. And Wu is, you know, I'll say it again because I said this with the Cypress album or the Cypress episode. Cypress and Wu, man. Like, I had the Cypress album. My friend Mike had the Wu album. We made an energy. I was like, yo, listen to this. He's like, listen to this. After he let me listen to it, and of course, the Cypress is one of my favorites. But after he let me listen to it, I was just like, "What the fuck is this? This is amazing! Listen to the rugged beats, the raw shit." And then when I remember when Wu and Cypress had a song together, I was like, "Oh my god, this is the shit!" Like, I was never as happy as like when I saw that Wu and Cypress had a song together, and I was just like, "Fuck, man!" So
that song is so good too.
Yeah, man. So for reals. Mad props to the Wu. I'm glad you guys came out when you did. I'm glad you guys stuck around. I'm glad you guys gave an influence how I dress, walk, talk, all that shit, man. So,
and if you haven't seen Wu Saga, you know, you gotta peep this show.
My boy Khalil, I'm gonna kick his ass.
Knowledge. What the fuck are you doing? The fact that he hasn't seen it
know, man.
feels like
It's
I can't.
The missing key, man. The missing
Life
key.
Is not complete.
No,
I can't die until he's seen it.
And it's so funny because like he was literally calling, and like while we were recording, I had to turn my phone off. And I would have been like,
man, look at you, man. Shit could have been a half hour shorter.
Oh my god, no,
distracting red like that.
Listen, check out.
Yo, peace to the God, man.
Check out all of Wu. I'm not in Killer Army, Wu Syndicate, everything.
Yeah, really, man. Like, don't just like fucking like.
Yeah, even the European Wu, man, the Colombian Wu. Check out everything.
So many wild side projects out there, man.
And Bobby Digital is one of my favorite albums, solo albums from the Wu thing. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Holocaust, right?
Rest in peace, Holocaust. Rest in peace, ODB, for reals. And for reals, Holocaust, man. That was just
like the other day. It feels like it was just yesterday, dude. Like that fucking sucks.
Yeah, because I remember you telling me you were all about Holocaust. Check this out.
His solo shit, like people don't fucking know.
Yeah, check
Holocaust is nasty, bro.
Check out Christbearer.
No, shout out Christbearer.
He's the one who told me about Holocaust.
Like,
yo, condolences, my man. So, you know.
Yeah, man, that was the chain. That was it, right?
Yeah, man. So, mad love to all the heads. Rest in peace to the heads. And you guys, dead or alive, it changed my life in ways you wouldn't even know, for reals. I'm a producer because of RZA, man.
Sorry this got so late to y'all, man. We had health issues. We had family issues. Now we got travel issues. So the next episode coming up is not going to be the February episode. This is our final January episode.
Yeah.
And of course, February, we like to try to keep it in the thematic of like the Valentine's, the love, the romance. It's love to love your month, whatever. But it's also like
slap. I'm a nut.
Right. It's just the time to get sexy time. It's a heartbreak era. You know, you love it or hate it, but that's what we got. So we're gonna be doing hip hop, romance, whether that's love, heartache, lust, like whatever. We're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna do a special episode. Not this Monday coming up, but it'll be the next one. All right, so just hang tight.
Yeah.
But we're gonna hit you with 3 episodes. We're still gonna do 4 songs, but we're gonna have a special guest, and then we're gonna get back to it. You know what I'm saying?
So horny.
Red's got shit to do, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna be out of town for a little bit, so it's gonna be John and a special guest.
Yeah.
But I sanction the guest, so you know, and so does John. He knows what he talks about.
Dude's tapped in. Dude's passionate. Part of the Rappers Corner family. We love them, and it's gonna be a good time. Yeah. But we'll leave it at that, just in case it doesn't happen.
Yeah, man.
Then we got to talk about something else.
Peace, and like mad love to Wu.
Happy Wu Year, guys.
Woo.
2025. More coming. More stuff coming. I got to get out of here, man. It's fucking late, man. It's so late.